And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
RA-68 chamber pressure looks good.
Rolling up. Roger, Atlantis.
Water towers, fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Fighting downside FD off. Bring in FD off. Off. It's orange!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
Look at this!
Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
The methane would be igniting with the flare, correct?
Yikes. You dead? Sure. We don't need any more of these.
Well, hello everybody. It's excitement time again. Finally, we're going to get a static fire test. At least going to attempt one with Ship 25. There is an overpressure notice out, so we know it's definitely an attempt for a static fire attempt today with Ship 25. Hopefully setting the stage to the next full stack with Booster 9, which will be on the orbital launch mount, which has recently been concreted all the way through the night and the dawn today. So things are progressing towards this second test flight of the full Starship stack. But first, Ship 25 needs to pass its exam, and its main exam is today with this 6-engine, hopefully, static fire test. So we're live, obviously, as you'd expect, waiting for this, hopefully some fueling to start very shortly. We know very close, the recondenser is on. But we have lots of people to talk to you with here, so we first of all introduce Ian Atkinson. Say hello, Ian.
Hello, I'm Ian. Glad to be here for hopefully the static fire test of Ship 25, and I can see the umbilicals there are already frosty, which kind of gives me an indicator maybe we're going for propellant load.
It looks that way. And hopefully we'll start seeing a frosty ship in a not too distant future, but it's definitely progressing pretty fast. That's why we've gone live ASAP. By the way, if you've got any questions, do at NASASpaceflight and tag the question that way, and then we'll see it in our panel and we'll bring up and we'll be able to talk about what you're talking about and what the questions you've got. Also joining us, we've got Sawyer. Say hello, Sawyer.
Hello, Sawyer. Oh, hi,
That was a
everyone.
good start.
Yeah, right off the beginning. But I'm glad to be here for this. Always exciting. And this is one of those few times where you're actually excited to get a piece of paper handed to you as opposed to something digital or an email when you get those overpressure notices. So excitement abound.
Yes, and I'll only on for a bit. I'm just covering until Jack and Daz join us, so you can have the A-team on very shortly rather than listen to me for too long. But I also want to thank Patrick, who's behind the scene pushing the knobs, turning the buttons and what have you. I'm sure it's the other way around, but never mind, it's what he does. It's things I don't understand, so we thankfully got Patrick keeping this stream nice and frosty for you all ahead of the static fire attempt. I did see one question already. I've not got the panel up. It's not very professional of me, is it? But I did see Musical Wolves ask, is it likely to be a multiple static fire? How many engines will they likely fire? Well, I'll start off first and I'll go around the room. I think they'll go for all 6, first of all, because the way SpaceX presented twice now, and it's very encouraging that SpaceX are tweeting quite a lot about Starship. They didn't used to, but they are now, is that they were preparing for a full 6-engine static fire test. They said it twice. One during rollout and one after the spin prime, which they called a different thing. What did they call the spin prime test? Can you remember, Ian or Sawyer, what they called the spin prime test? They gave it a new name. It was quite funny.
Spin and chill.
Spin and there we go. That's also a merch idea. And at that point, do we welcoming Jack onto the stream?
Hi, I'm here.
There you go, you lucky people. Jack's here. Everything is right with the world. Jack is on comms. I'm going to hand this over to you, Jack, because I'm just covering until you're ready. So, by all means, take it away.
You're not even going to talk about shuttle before you leave?
No, I was going to try and get through a stream without mentioning shuttle, but now
Chris.
I've mentioned the shuttle, and you've made me mention shuttle.
I
so there we
just
go.
put a shuttle question in the queue for you, Chris.
Oh, did you? Hang on. Do you want to ask
not
that
even
before
joking.
I go, then? Do you want to ask that?
Absolutely.
Oh, no,
So, Outdoorsman Show asking, how much did the shuttle weigh versus what Starship weighs
oh
right
my
now?
God. Right, well, that varies.
I was about to say which shuttle.
Depending on the
Yeah,
orbiter.
exactly. Because Columbia was the heaviest, and that's why she didn't get some of the missions the other orbiters got. Columbia was a much heavier orbiter. Endeavour was the lightest, and she was literally made out of spare parts. Apart from a few bits on the fuselage, everything was spare parts with Endeavour. And they basically were going to be used on the orbiters when they were needed, but they ended up making a shuttle out of it and calling it Endeavour. So she was the lightest. And then you've got difference in payload capability. You've got different OMS and fuel cell capacities. It was so many variables in things. You couldn't really compare them. Obviously, Starship is a lot lighter. So that's the way, without the fuel, of course. You've got to then take the shuttle stack, which is the external tank, and the solid rocket boosters. The solid rocket boosters were extremely heavy. A lot of people don't appreciate how heavy they were.
No,
And that's where the full stack came in. Yeah, exactly. So there's too many variables to really answer that accurately. But the interesting fact there is Columbia was the heaviest.
Okay. Well, we got some Crispy and some shuttle in. Thank you, Crispy. We asked for it and we got it. Before we let you go,
Pleasure.
before we let you go, Crispy, and start talking about what we think is going to happen today with Ship 25, Chris, confirm or deny? Starship is what Shuttle wanted to be.
Yes, I'm sorry, it's true. And I know that annoys some people on Twitter. But when you think about it, Shuttle was about cargo. It was about upmass. It was about varying capabilities. The problem with Shuttle was you were stuck in low Earth orbit with it. You had a restricted orbit of capability. And the other thing is Starship has got long duration in space. A lot of people don't appreciate that the space shuttle would get extremely sick in space. Listen, hear me out on this one. They would get extremely sick in space after about 3 weeks because they relied on the fuel cells and they had limited capability with the fuel cells. That when they wanted to do a longer mission, they relied on being docked at the space station using what was called SSPTS, which was Shuttle to Station Power Transfer System, which would feed electricity through to the orbiter and not have to rely on the fuel cells. That extended their life on orbit. Or a big pallet in the cargo bay full of liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen to power the fuel cells. And that's why they could not stay in orbit for more than a month, ever. It just simply had that limitation. And not only that, but the orbit, whereas Starship has all its capability and will eventually start sending cargo, large amounts of cargo, to Mars. So the shuttle would want to be Starship, but Starship will be far more than the shuttle could ever wish to be.
Right, you also have the thing that you have all of your fuel in the solid rocket boosters and the external tank, which drop away, so there's less that you can refuel in orbit, which we'll be able to do with Starship.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you for starting the stream off, Chris. Thank you for the shuttle facts. I swear, if you're watching our stream for the first time, we don't only talk about shuttle here, just a lot of the time. But
What do you want them on?
But we do have a standard Q&A thing we do here. We can move on from Shuttle Talk and start answering some of y'all's questions. Musical Wolves, first off, thank you for the support. They say, how many tiles will fall? We want to take a guess. Oh, wait. I'm going to put this back in the queue. Putting it back in the queue. We didn't go around the horn and oh, we're getting frost on the aft ring there. Yay. That means liquid oxygen is flowing into the ship.
Yes.
How many engines do we think are firing up? Chris B said 6. I'm going to say 6. And Ian, what do you think?
I'm feeling either 2 or 6. And the reason I say that is on Ship 20 and Ship 24, 2 engines was a common starting point for static fires. I don't know if they're confident enough to go to all 6 today for the first ever test of Ship 25, or if they're going to start off slow and steady like they have before. So 2 or 6, in my opinion.
Alrighty. Sawyer, what do you think?
I think with the rate that they've been going with testing, especially how quickly they got to the first flight test and how quickly they want to get to the second test, I'm going to go ahead and also add 6.
Alrighty. Well, there you have it. Alright. Now, we can move on to how many tiles do we think will fall. I'm going to say between 0 and 10. Ian, what do you think?
Jack, that's an extreme cop-out, I just gotta say. I'm gonna guess 3. Because while they have been getting slowly better, they still have been losing tiles during static fires.
Wow, shots fired, Ian. Okay. Sawyer, what do you think?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think it's going to be that many, but I will go ahead and say 8, if we're being specific. But if I were to give a range, I'd probably go 5 to 15. Hopefully it's none, and hopefully things improve, but that's my answer at least.
Yeah, absolutely. SpaceX has been doing a lot of work to try to improve not only the mounting hardware on the tiles, but the tiles' integrity themselves. They haven't seemed to iron it out yet. We saw on the orbital flight, or sorry, the first integrated flight test, a few tiles were lost on ascent by the time the vehicle broke up. Whether or not that was due to aerodynamic loading when the vehicle began tumbling, we don't really know, but nevertheless, it still lost a few tiles, it seems.
Yeah, shout out to Doss's video breakdown of all of the footage that we've gotten from SpaceX and whatnot, showing the tiles coming off. It seems like quite a good number of them came off, especially considering how many people found tiles washed up on the beach. Let's see here. Good question, though, from Musical Wolves. Tesla versus the world, thank you for the super chat. They say, do you think they will put a Cybertruck in a Starship to meet up with the Roadster? Love the stream. No, unfortunately, because how are they even going to do that, given the nature of the nose cone? They need a chomper nose cone before they do that, and I fear that's a long way away.
Also, I don't think, like, they can even leave low Earth orbit with Starship's current configuration. You need on-orbit propellant refilling.
Right, right.
Also, Cybertruck isn't ready yet.
It did just enter production, but yet just
Right.
barely entered production.
I mean, well, the Roadster was like one of the early Roadster prototypes that Elon had, right? So I guess they could yeet the very first Cybertruck, and that would be sort of on brand.
There you
guess
go.
so.
Yeah. Again, like you said, it's just deployment method.
Good stuff. Yeah, so if you're wondering what's going to happen in this stream, if it wasn't clear, we are expecting a static fire of Ship 25. This will be Ship 25's first static fire, if I'm not mistaken. And, yeah, this is the next step in getting this vehicle ready to fly on the second integrated flight test. The reason we think that there's going to be a static fire today, or rather know that there's going to be a static fire today, is the usual reason, as you can see in the ticker on the lower third there. It says an overpressure notice has been delivered. In fact, an overpressure notice was delivered, which means SpaceX is going to at least attempt to fire up the engines on Ship 25. Whether or not they will succeed remains to be seen, but that is what we are hoping for today.
Jack, real quick correction there. We don't know there will be a static fire today. We know there will at least be an attempt at a static fire today. Of course, with all Starship testing, it kind of comes down to how the vehicle decides to behave that day. There could be little glitches that come up, little hardware issues, things the team hasn't yet prepared for. There could be holds in the countdown. So this is a very variable event. So it might take a little bit of time before they hit engine ignition. But at least today is their first real shot at firing up Ship 25's Raptor engines.
Yep, and thank you, Patrick, for fixing the grammar error in the lower third there. I feel much better now.
Yes, we does speaks good English here.
We do talk good. We do the good. We do the good talk. Right. So the previous engine test we saw with Ship 25 last week was a spin prime test. No overpressure notice went out for that. No methane was involved in that test. Right. So, like you said, Ian, this is going to be their first attempt at lighting up Ship 25's engine.
Well, a little bit of methane was loaded into the vehicle, but not enough that an overpressure notice was necessary.
Do we know that it was methane, or could it have been nitrogen? I don't know. I didn't actually watch that test. Spoiler.
It should have been a little bit of methane,
Yeah.
just to get the Raptor engines properly started up. There's a little bit of methane that comes out the back end of those Raptors during the spin prime, but it's literally just a puddle in the tank.
All right, so a little bit of methane as a treat. Got it.
Spin priming Raptors can have a little bit of methane as a treat.
Exactly. Bideford, thank you for the support. Very generous of you. Moldy Space. Moldy! Thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. You are the best human. No, for real, like if society suddenly cataclysmically ended and you were the last surviving human from which the rest of the human race were to be cloned, I think we'd be in good shape. Thank you, Moldy.
Steve's a good human.
TechRan, thank you for the support. They say, does Starship need sea level Raptors if it's not landing back on Earth?
Yes.
Yes,
So-
because it starts those engines up when it's not fully in a vacuum, right? And you get better ISP, right? Is that how that works?
Not quite. At the altitude, I don't know the exact altitude. I don't think anyone really knows the exact altitude at which Starship will stage, but If it's around, I would guess around 60 kilometers, at that point you're essentially in vacuum. Not really, but more
So
or
is
less
it?
in vacuum.
It's more about minimizing gravity losses.
Precisely. It's about having adequate thrust so that you don't fall back to Earth. Now, the Raptor sea levels are not perfectly efficient up there in vacuum. They're pretty efficient, but like they're not as good as a Raptor vacuum. They need those 3 engines not only to mitigate gravity losses like that, but also for gimbal. The Raptor Vacs cannot gimbal, the Raptor sea levels can. So you get kind of a twofer from having those engines still on there.
Question. So just to be really pedantic here and just take the question from Techran at its complete face value. Does it need sea level Raptors? No. It could just have all vacuum Raptors, provided they were able to gimbal them.
Yeah.
If it wasn't going to land on Earth, I'm just trying to. I don't know. I'm being stupid here.
No. I mean, if there are plans to put 6 Raptor Vacs on Starship in addition to the 3 sea levels, so I guess you could do that, and then maybe do some kind of I think it's called differential thrust, where you throttle down one side to make it gimbal that direction, things like that. But that's a bit complex.
I also wonder if part of it has to do with vehicle dynamics as well, and that all of the testing and modeling has been done with the sea level Raptors included. So unless they upgrade it, like you said, and add the extra engines, it could just be for performance calculations and balance.
Yeah, and right now there's no payload on board, and there's not going to be any demanding payloads, at least for a long time on Starship, so they really don't need to eke out every bit of performance right now.
Cool deal. A couple more super chats and we'll get into some viewer questions. Just want to make sure everyone knows we appreciate their support. Bazinga, thank you for the support. They say the real main purpose of Starship is to get the car back, as Elon wants the car back. LOL. Solid. Nerd, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. We appreciate that so much. Speaking of supporting the channel, we could not do what we do without our members. We are absolutely sustained by our members. We could put a whole bunch of work into a YouTube video or into doing a stream or what have you, and it doesn't necessarily mean that that video or stream or what have you will do numbers. And, I'll be blunt with it. Pay for itself. So the members are the bedrock on which we build everything else that we do here. So thank you so much, members, which is why I'm saying, Nerd, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships, because 5 people now in chat will have a membership that they did not already have. Maybe they couldn't afford it. Maybe they didn't know it was a thing. But we have all kinds of awesome perks for our members. We have members-only emoji at Capcom level and above. I always want to call it Discord level and above. At Capcom level and above, we have Discord access. I'm going to throw a bunch of dragon capsules into chat because I have members emoji because I'm a member. But yes, the Discord is a bustling community. It's amazing. There's all kinds of channels where you can talk about everything. I'll end my spiel here, I promise. But seriously, there's all kinds of cool perks for members. There's behind-the-scenes stuff. We really appreciate you, members. So if you haven't gone into the member content on the YouTube channel and watched the stream that Das and I did from New Mexico a couple days ago, where we rode a scissor lift and we saw some high-powered amateur rockets launch, and we rode out a insane dust devil at height in the scissor lift. That footage exists. It's like an hour-and-a-half long stream. It was for members only, so that's yet another one of the kind of perks that we do. If you don't have access to that, get access to it, and if you do have access, go watch it after this, because that was one of my favorite things we've done in recent memory. That was a really, really, really fun stream. Eric Fraser in chat asking if I can still taste the dust. Yes. In fact, all of my gear is still crunchy and dusty, and I need to spend like 6 hours just with a blower and like getting all the... everything's going to be dusty forever, so I don't know. Anyways, thank you, Nerd, for gifting memberships. Thank you to all of our members. All right. How about we do some viewer questions? Brad the Astro Man is asking, when do you think the next integrated flight test could be? I'm going to say August. Sawyer, what do you think?
I think a lot of it's going to depend on how this testing goes, especially, we saw today them doing a lot of the concrete pouring underneath the OLM. So I think depending on how fast they're able to get that down and tested and everything, then I could say August, but my gut is saying September.
Ian?
I'm about to go a bit pessimistic here and say October. I think Ship 25, obviously, it hasn't finished its test campaign yet. Booster 9 basically hasn't begun its test campaign. It did do a cryoproof, like, very, very early last year. I don't know if that counts anymore, but there's still a lot of work left to go, so I think October. Also, did I see a little vent there coming from the right side of Ship 25?
Oh, I might have missed it. I was looking at chat.
I think I might have saw it. Anyway, but I think October, personally. Maybe September.
Alrighty, you heard it here first. We have predicted... we have speculated wildly for your joy. We hope you enjoyed it. Rocket Lover asking, what happened with the concrete pouring today? Wasn't there like a whole bunch of concrete trucks lined up to pour concrete? Do we know what's going on with that?
Yes, so there were, I think, 132 concrete trucks. I may be misremembering that, but either way, there were a lot of concrete trucks that came in. They basically completely filled in, as far as we know, the area underneath the orbital launch pad. Now, that was the area, yes, 132 trucks over 11 hours. So they filled in that area that was unintentionally excavated by Booster 7 as it left the Earth. And they filled it in. They've been doing a lot of improvements to the area there, reinforcing it with extra rebar, it seems like. Also adding in the new, or about to add in, I don't know the exact timeline on this, but the new sound suppression system with the water-cooled steel plates. So a lot of work happening right there, but it seemed they came in, pumped in a ton of concrete, and now they're going to have to wait a while to work on it. It's going to take a few days for it to harden, and then a few weeks for it to cure and be ready to actually use it.
Alrighty, that's a lot of so basically the answer is they completed the pour, or at least the whatever part of the pour those 132 trucks were a part of.
Yeah, so they at least completed the first phase of the pour, if not completely did it, because the trucks have been gone for a while now.
132 trucks. That's so many trucks.
Yeah, it reminds me of the
More-
lines that they were trying to refill the
Yep.
tank farm.
More trucks, more better?
I
think so.
Drive down Highway 4 and then tell me that.
Oh, no.
that might be the one exception to the rule in regards to more blank, more better.
More trucks, more blowouts.
Yeah, more trucks, more potholes, really, is what it ends up being. Let's see here. Iker is asking, what time is the static fire supposed to be? I don't think we have a specific time that this is going to happen. If Adrian was here, I would ask him, based on the frost situation, what his estimate would be, but it's kind of hard because we don't know that they will necessarily fill up the ship completely. We don't know necessarily what sort of countdown flow they are following right now, but we do know when the testing window goes till tonight. And Ian, is that the standard 9 p.m. local?
I will double check. I do believe it's to 8 p.m. local. I will double check that right now. It's funny, I was actually looking right at the thing. Oh, yep, Alex said midnight. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
I just got it
midnight.
up. Yeah, 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. on the official notice.
Excellent. So we have a whole bunch of time today with which to do the test. So the time the static fire is supposed to be is sometime between now and midnight local.
Cool. Anyone making popcorn?
I don't have popcorn, but I did make bacon earlier, so I got that covered.
Ooh. Little venti action there.
Oh, yeah, a little vent
Yep.
for as a treat.
Starship can vent some gaseous methane as a treat. Speaking of methane, and actually not methane, the oxygen tank is starting to fill up pretty well. Little camera restart there. Yeah, the oxygen frost line is getting higher and higher slowly. I don't believe we have a methane frost line yet, it's not looking like. But that should be happening, coming up soon. Again, we're deep into propellant loading, so we should be, by a rough guess, around a half hour away from static fire. Could be a little earlier, could be a little bit later, so...
Yeah, I think normally the sort of flow that we've seen for static fires is once we see things starting to get frosty and the recondenser starts up, it's somewhere in the order of 50 minutes, give or take 10 or 20 minutes, somewhere in there. I think I don't know, Adrian is probably yelling at me in his sleep right now, but there you go. That's
He
what I
doesn't
remember.
sleep.
I feel like it's been a while since we've had a static fire on a suborbital pad. Like, does anyone in chat know, or does anyone on commentary know when the last static fire on a suborbital pad was? It feels like it was ages and ages.
I think it was Was it end of last year or beginning of this year?
It would have been Ship 24. I'm really quickly looked it up.
Yeah.
So around January was
Yep.
the most recent.
Yeah,
December 15th.
Feels like a lifetime ago. 6 months.
It really does. Like things move so fast, but also kind of so slow at times down here. It's
Right.
they have some weird time warp thing inside one of the tents, I'm sure.
It's a famously Apple thing. People say Apple and Steve Jobs in particular like employed a reality distortion field, and I think the only other person in modern like corporate history I think we've seen that has sort of a similar reality distortion field is Elon. And SpaceX and Starbase in general definitely. It simultaneously feels like it's moving at a breakneck pace, and also like it's a glacier. So, that's just the quirk of all of this development being done out in the open. We know so much. We know how rapid they're iterating compared to some previous rocket programs. So we know that they're moving fast, but we also all simultaneously want them to move faster. So I think that's part of it at least.
Fast but carefully, I want.
Yeah, right. That sounds good to me. No more detonations, please.
Oh no.
Let's see here. Austin Skirvin, thank you for the tip. They say if all things go right with this test, the stream will be, quote, on fire. Hopefully they don't exhaust the concrete too much. Oh my god. They say there are some good jokes for Sawyer. Thank you.
They are very good, Austin. Appreciate that.
Don't encourage him, Austin.
Keep encouraging. I love it.
Attilio, thank you for the super chat. They say, I'm going next week to Florida to see my first rocket launch ever with Falcon Heavy. Do you guys know the time of launch or any suggestions for locations depending on launch time? Thanks, y'all. Sawyer. Help this guy
as
out.
of right now, I don't think we have a launch date specifically yet. From next spaceflight, it just says no earlier than July, but don't worry, there's a very good chance there will be a launch while you are here, regardless of what it is. My recommendation for viewing spots, if it's open, Playa Linda Beach is about as close as you're going to get. It's a national park, basically, so you just pay to get in for that one, but if you're looking for somewhere more easier to access, anywhere along US 1 in Titusville is going to get you a great view as well.
Alrighty. Rough Rider Show. Thank you for the super chat. How many Apple boxes can Ship 25 burn? That's an inside joke between the members and Rough Riders and myself. And the answer is all of them. You should know that. Bazinga, thank you for becoming a Capcom member. Once again, you get Discord access at Capcom level and above, so we hope you enjoy the Discord, Bazinga. Ninja Decimator. Thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. We see Ninja Decimator pop up from time to time, and you gotta give their name respect in the appropriate way. Raker, thank you for the super chat. They say bacon fund as a question. Sure, why not? I had some delicious Hatch chili seasoned short back bacon that I found at a supermarket here in Truth or Consequences, and it was delicious. So, yes, I will accept the bacon fund money.
Jack, that's a lot of adjectives for bacon.
Hatch chili seasoned short back bacon, yes.
If you gave me $1 million, I could not repeat the words that you just said.
Hatch chili seasoned short back bacon from Truth or Consequences.
Yeah, say that 5 times fast.
No.
Okay, move on.
Rankly, thank you for the tip there. We do have a tip jar. It if you don't feel like doing a super chat or you don't have a YouTube account or whatever, there is a tip program that goes through, what is it, tips.nsf.com or something like that.
Tips.nasaspaceflight.com.
There we go. So thank you for the tip, Rankly. It shows up just the same as all of the other super chats and whatnot. They say, nice night for a Static Fire stream. Keep up the great work, NSF. Thank you, buddy. Jaden Booth, gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Be sure to thank Jaden if you got one of those. Thank you so much, Jaden. Eric, becoming a Red Team member. Gene, becoming a Pad Rat member. Really, again, we can't do what we do without the members. So thank you to all of our new members and everyone who's gifting the memberships. It's awesome. We hope you like the perks. Seriously, go watch that stream from Spaceport America that Dawson and I did a couple days ago. I watched it this morning while I made breakfast. I'm that much of a dork. I watched myself on a stream. But it's a good stream. That's why. Larry,
and for Starship fans, you get access to some of Nick's pictures early and some exclusive ones as well, like ones that were just posted today.
Oh, yeah. Larry, thank you for the super chat. Very generous of you. Brian, thank you for the super chat. They say the second test flight with Booster 9 and Ship 25 needs to be on September 25th because that's my birthday. And isn't that's the date would be 9/25 on 9/25?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty good. And they gave us a $925 super chat. Love it. Well,
Nice.
good luck, Brian. Let's see. Holy
Whoa.
cow! Russell Snodgrass with a $100
Wow.
super chat. Thank you so much, Russell. Another one of those names we see pop up all the time, especially with the high dollar supers. I can't even. It's $100. That's so much money.
Thanks,
Thank you, Russell.
Holy smokes! Wow.
That means a ton.
Yes. Thank you. Thank
And
you.
this is a really good point. Russell might have seen this in a recent Starbase update a couple weeks back. They're asking, why do we keep calling it a suborbital pad? Do we think they will ever launch a suborbital flight again? Maybe it should just be test stand pad A or B. Yes, I mused about as much in a recent Starbase update. We basically should just call them pad A and pad B at this point, and the orbital pad we will call the orbital pad. If that's what you want to do, be my guest. I believe SpaceX still calls them the suborbital pad A and B, so that's what I'll continue to call them. But calling them just Pad A and Pad B is certainly not incorrect. But I digress. Russell, thank you so much. So helpful. It's really, really awesome of you to not only donate this much money this one time, but also consistently throughout the years. Thank you so much, Russell. There's no words in the English language I could use that could sufficiently thank you for that insanely generous level of support. So I will do what I'm sure everyone else wants me to do, and you probably too, is continue on with the coverage and stop blathering on. But thank you, Russell. That's insanely generous. Tesla versus the world. They say, do you believe that Starship could eventually make it to the moons of Jupiter like Europa, or would we need another ship with advanced propulsion? Well, the point of Starship is it's supposed to be able to get anywhere as long as you are able to refill it enough times, right? So I'm going to say yes. Ian, what do you think?
Yeah, it should. I don't see anything. Another nice event there. I don't see anything physically holding it back from getting to the Jovian system. With people on board, I think you really run into the issue of space. So while Starship is super spacious, like it has all of the internal volumes of, I think, an Airbus A380 or the International Space Station, pick your choice. Being in there for, let's say, the 5 years, which is a very generous number to get to Jupiter, maybe like 7 years. Would you really want to be inside like an A380 for like 7 years?
No.
You kind of run into that issue there. So maybe you could have like an inflatable habitat that comes off the side. I don't know. That is likely to decades down the line for having to be a thing. But in theory, payload-wise, yes, absolutely. It could definitely get a large chunk of payload out to Jupiter.
If my life expectancy was double, yeah, I'll spend 7 years in a Starship. If my life expectancy is what it is right now, and I'm going to kick it around 70, no. A tenth of your life? No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah,
as you can see,
the bacon grease doesn't help, by the way.
yeah, no. Let's be real. I'm being optimistic with 70, especially given my propensity for hog byproducts. Okay, so Ship 25 continuing to be loaded with liquid oxygen. As you can see, it's nice and frosty there as condensation is drawn out of the air by the cryogenic liquid on the other side of that metal tank. Except Starship. All good. This is all what we want to see as we progress towards a static fire test at some point here between now and midnight. But ideally in the next... Ian, how long ago did we say? Times?
Looks to be, if I had to guess, 20 to 30 minutes. Again,
Somewhere
that's a
in there.
very, very rough estimate. I don't have Adrian here, unfortunately.
And we don't necessarily know that they're going straight for a static fire. They could do a spin prime. They could try to do a static fire and abort. We really won't know until we get right up into the business end of the count because, again, there was a overpressure notice delivered, and that also comes with the notification that 10 minutes prior to a potential overpressure event, there will be a siren, which is not always foolproof. Sometimes there's a siren, sometimes there's not. What?
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 Bazinga! Became a
Oh.
Capcom member and gifted some memberships, and now they have thrown in a $400 super chat.
Wow.
That's
That
so
just
much
doesn't
money.
click for me.
That is
My goodness.
that is so much money.
Thank
you so
Thank you.
much. Bazinga! That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
Unbelievable. Thank you.
I mean, everything that we do here at NSF, we do because you all enable it. We are able to travel to launches. I'm in New Mexico right now, waiting for the next Virgin Galactic launch, and I was here several days ago shooting the Spaceport America Cup with DAS. All things that we can do because of member support. We're able to pay for the robots. We're able to pay for the data that the robots require. We're able to pay for people's time to be on stream, to wait all day on standby, to write scripts, to edit videos, to do all the things that we do. We're able to pay for people to attend launches in Florida and get us cool footage of that. We're everything, all of the things. So it's just, we freak out when we get big dollar amounts, or any dollar amounts, because it means that we're getting meaningful support to helping us do what we do, and what we all, I think, love to do. But Bazinga,
Absolutely.
Yes.
$400 is positively absurd. That to me, $400 is like a very serious consideration when I purchase something that costs that much money. Usually some planning so I can save up for it, and you know, it's that's a lot of money. So anyways, I don't want the whole stream to just be us oohing and eyeing over super chats, but I do want to make sure, Bazinga, you know that we appreciate the support. And once again, same as I said previously, after Russell's very generous super chat, what we can do in return, I think ultimately, is to continue to do what we do. So thank you. Hopefully you feel sufficiently thanked for your extremely generous level of support. I can't even words. Thank you, Bazinga, and Bazinga X, and we will just plow that right back into the field and continue growing cool content for y'all.
Absolutely. That means like an absolute ton. Thank you. I don't even have words to process it. I'm just going to say that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's probably the most challenging thing that I personally have to do here at NSF is figure out a way to adequately thank the people for their insane support, because it's truly humbling, and it's absolutely critical and so meaningful. So thank you. It's it's hard to do. Super Step gifting 5. Go ahead, Sawyer.
I was gonna say, it also really shows how much you guys love what we do, and that's what keeps us going here. Besides the fact we love this stuff, the fact that you guys enjoy it so much just gives us all that more energy to put out the best products and give you the best that we can. So the support, again, even just by saying how much you appreciate it, thumbs up, all of that, it means a lot to us personally, not just to the monetary part as well, but to us. That keeps us going and pushes us further.
Yeah, no kidding. Super Steph, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. If you got one from Steph, be sure to thank her. I mean, to your point, Sawyer, and I hope this doesn't come across as like me tooting my own horn, but the previous Virgin Galactic flight last month, we streamed that, and we were able to stream that because of support from viewers like y'all. And I forget who it was, but somebody texted me afterward, and they said the only reason the entire world saw that was because of you, because Virgin Galactic didn't stream that. And it sounds kind of hoity-toity, and I hope not too overblown, but for real, you all, everyone here, whether you're hitting the like button or just subscribing or just telling your friends about it doesn't have to be a monetary thing, but everybody here who supports what we do, you are enabling us to bring this content to people around the world. And one, that's awesome. It's awesome that we're able to do that. And two, I am extremely thankful that I am personally able to participate. What the?
Wow.
But wait, there's more.
There's 3.
Ship 25 is venting. We've got a frosty ship. We're not even. We need to talk about what's going on. But we have a $100 super chat from David Graper. Thank you, David, so much. They say always love the live feeds. Can't wait for the next launch. And we have a $100 tip. Where did that go? Where did the $100 tip go?
Right at the bottom.
The one from Stephen Hoover.
Yep.
From
Steve Hoover.
There we go. Steve Hoover, or Steve Hover, depending on where they're located. Thank you so much for the $100 tip. He said, been watching for years and love your coverage. Much funnier than Mercury launching.
Wow. You
I
were
think-
lucky
I
to have
think-
seen the Mercury launches. That
I
must have
think
been.
that's a compliment. Thank you so much, Steve. It's just like, what do I've said all the things. I don't even. Thank
Yeah.
you, Steve. Thank you, David. And there's another one from Nico, €100 super chat. Nico Sneck says Bacon Train. Y'all are just being excellent to us. So thank you so much. I mean, okay.
And another one.
What the heck, Brian?
Goodness.
Brian Sale,
Ooh.
thank you so much. Okay.
Like, this is genuinely, like... so my secondary job here is a writer. You know, I'm a writer by trade. I don't have words for this. Just to put that in perspective. We're writers here and we don't have words for this. That's how crazy much this means to us. Like, it's been dawning on me too that all of your support that you're giving us here, like, you know, super chat, even just literally liking the live stream, all of that is helping not only support the channel, but our stream for the second flight test of Starship. I am so excited to see the improvement that it's going to be over the first, based on camera coverage, just everything, and you're all making this possible. The future of this channel is so bright because of what all that you're doing.
Seriously. Brian Sale, thank you. $100 super chat. They say for just 27 cents a day, you too can support a space channel in need. I watch one of your vids almost daily. The quality of the content is easily worth 28 cents per day. Seriously, you all deserve it much more. Thank you, Brian. And we promise we will never do like a soppy like commercial with like pets and like it's in the eyes of the angel song and like buy the pets. Like, no, we're not gonna ever do that.
Yeah, Alex and Adrian behind cages looking sad.
Oh my god, that got dark.
It's horrible.
Oh wow. Thank you, Brian. Thank you everybody for the what the I don't even okay.
I think you've broken all of us.
Artie with a $200 super chat, no text.
Commentators.exe has stopped working.
I need to go in Task Manager and reboot. Hang on.
Arthur Cardy. I need a defrag after this. Arthur Cardy, thank you. Okay. Arthur, oh my god, stop. Okay, I'm telling you now, stop.
Oh.
We need to talk about the test. I'm sure there are people out there that are wanting us to talk. Oh my god. Donald Hanson.
It's distracting.
With a $100 super chat. Thank you, Donald Hanson. The coverage is totally worth it. I can't even talk anymore. What is going on?
Oh my gosh. And
thank you all. Thank you. Because we know that you appreciate what we're doing, and that is really meaningful. Sawyer, say words. Go.
I was going to say that the support continues not just to us, but also sharing to other people. Methane Man with 50 gifted red team memberships.
Sawyer, no, not 50, with 100.
They did
50
50
and
twice.
Yes, 50 and 50. Totally 100.
That's bonkers.
Crazy. So 100 people in chat just got red team memberships. You get access to emojis, background videos, behind the scenes stuff, and just an incredible amount of support. I don't even know what to say anymore. How are we going to talk about this testing when my brain just stopped?
Everybody that just got a membership, first off, thank the person that gifted it to you, and second off, make sure you go watch that Spaceport America Cup stream that Dustin and I did, because if there's one piece of member content that you should really enjoy, it'll be that. What? The Jerwa? I said stop! Jerwa with a $250 super chat saying Breaking Jack. Is that like a sequel to Better Call Saul?
I was going to say, I can already hear the Breaking Bad music now.
Wow. Jerwa, thank you always for everything. And what? I can't even finish thanking one person.
Holy.
Jerwa.
Another regular.
I don't. Someone talk.
Okay, I'll hop in. Dank Jeb, a regular we've seen all the time in our community Discord, available to Capcom members or higher, a very common name to see back there. Thank you so much for the $100, which is absolutely insane. And then Dano50, thank you for the 100 Canadian that just came in saying for all that you do. And oh my god, W4WWW with the $200 saying how frosty is Ship 25.
What?
It's a little frosty.
What is happening?
Yeah, by the way, folks, there is a frost line continuing on Ship 25 as we anticipate a static fire coming up very soon. That is the liquid oxygen tank filling that you can see. So
No
space
methane yet.
Space stuff is happening.
There is a rocket on screen. I don't know if we've seen that one yet, but
Raker with a $200 super chat. I can't even process this at this point. Bazinga upgrading to launch director. Raker, thank you so much. What? Will you guys stop? Can we talk about the test? Okay. Now I'm starting to get mad. Now I'm starting to get mad. Can we please talk about the test? Well, it keeps coming.
Okay, first off, not only are you giving Jack heart issues with all the bacon he's going to buy, but second off, we need to talk about this rocket on screen. And third off, I don't know how to talk anymore.
Yeah.
Blake Alexander says peer pressure stinks with a $200 super chat. Thank you, Blake Alexander. Y'all are insane in the best possible
the support
way.
starts coming in and don't start coming back to the rules.
Yeah, really?
Sawyer, if I wasn't in such a good mood right now.
That's why I'm taking advantage of it.
Can we call SpaceX and tell them just to stop for the night? I need a bit of a rest right now.
My
brain is...
My cheeks hurt from smiling so much from all of the support.
Before this stream, I was like, oh, should I run across the street to the convenience store and get a Red Bull so I can be properly hyped up? No, I don't think I need a Red Bull at this point. Thank you all so much. It's humbling. It truly is. I sincerely appreciate, and I know everyone at NSF does as well, the insane support from y'all. Thank you so much. It's bonkers.
It's totally bonkies, in the words of a friend of mine.
We hopefully are getting a certain guy with a beard who loves bacon. Hopefully we're getting closer and closer to a test here as the recent insanity helped us pass the Apocalypse Cow! What are you doing?
Whoa. What just happened? It continues.
Apocalypse Cow with a $500. I was trying to wrap it up.
Oh, okay.
I'm legitimately getting mad.
This is completely... They're saying, so they hear there's some sort of rocket testing today. Maybe there is, but we can't talk about it.
I think suffice to say that everybody is as happy as we are for the resumption of static fire testing and to get closer and closer to the second integrated flight test. Apocalypse Cow! I don't even know what to say.
God.
No words for this.
I don't even know what to say.
You could have bought a very nice telescope for that money, but you put it towards us, and that is just absolutely... I don't even know what to say. Everyone here watching is amazing. I was going to say that first and foremost. Everyone who supported us tonight is like super, triple, double amazing.
Right.
To put it in technical terms. But, oh my god, unbelievable. Y'all are insane. In such a good way.
I think it's safe to say that I can make a promise that all of the super chats and tips and everything are not going to go to waste, and all of this will end up getting back to you in terms of higher quality content and more content. So just know it will be used to help make this channel even better somehow than it already is.
Oh my god, Russell Snodgrass again with $200 more. I don't.
Goodness
Thank
gracious.
you, Russell. You know, normally I don't like to talk about things that we're going to do before we do them, but here, because y'all are being so nice, I will tease you about an upcoming thing that is happening. I mentioned earlier that I'm staying in New Mexico for the next Virgin Galactic flight, and all I will say is that stream should be a good one. So let's just leave that there, and hopefully y'all are as excited for that as I am.
You heard it here first, folks. Jack's going to space.
Yeah, right. No. To be clear, I'm not riding on the thing. I would ride on the thing, but I'm not riding on the thing. But it's still going to be good. Russell, thank you so much for the support. I think you opened the floodgates, Russell. So thank you for doing that. That's remarkable. And we got some more venting from Ship 25. Nicholas Stansberry, what the heck?
I think that venting's just to remind us, hey, I'm still here. We're still getting ready for test.
And then Tone Deaf Coyotes.
Oh my god.
For a defib to revive Jack. At this point, we need it. Can we do like a wellness check on Jack? Can we get DOS out there?
We need a live heart rate monitor.
What do I need to do?
Oh, hey, DOS.
DOS, you're a little quiet.
Oh, I'm a little quiet again. Patrick, could you fix that for him?
Oh, wait, no, I had you at 80% in Discord. Maybe it's me. It's probably me. DOS, help us make sense of what's happening, please.
Hey,
Did I miss anything? What's going on, y'all?
So we're watching a Starship test. I think that's just about it that happened. Anyone else?
Nope, nothing. Maybe some people gave a thumbs up and liked the stream.
There's some pretty awesome people in the community. I mean, we knew that before, but I was just reiterating.
They know SpaceX pays for the methane, right? We don't have to pay for it ourselves.
Oh my God. I don't even. I've had a smile on my face for the past 15 minutes, and it's not going away tonight, that's for sure. But unbelievable. So,
Same.
do we want to do a quick moment of just recapping what's happening on screen before we dive into the, I don't know,
but say
2-3
it-
page long queue?
Say
We
it
should.
fast, because you're probably going to get somebody interrupting you by being extremely generous. So, but yeah, give us a rundown. What are we expecting to see? What's the testing window? Where are we at in the flow? Blah blah blah. Thank you, everybody, again for this. What the heck? Go ahead.
I was going to try to speed run, and then Tracy came in with a $50 donate. Come on, you
Tracy's
can't
the
do
best.
this.
Tracy's the
You-
best.
you
Thank
are
you,
the
Tracy.
Be best, Tracy. Yes.
Thank you, Tracy. So real quick, all right, let's go. Speed run. So we're looking at Ship 25 on the screen. This is on suborbital. I'm not going to go that fast. This is on suborbital test stand B down at Boca Chica, Texas, aka Starbase, and they are going to do static fire testing of this ship. Now, if all goes well, this ship will be the second ship to fly on an integrated Starship flight test. Now, tonight they're only doing static fire engine testing. We don't know exactly how many engines. It could be 1, it could be 6, it could be an abort. But right now we're standing by. They are finishing up with propellant load. In the coming minutes, we should start to see engine chill venting coming up sometime soon as well. We don't know exactly where we are in the countdown right now, but a few good indicators to look out for in the coming minutes are the police siren, which should happen around T-minus 10 minutes. It could be, T-minus 12, T-minus 7. It's a rough estimate. Another one is the header tanks will start to frost over. That's when we know propellant loading is complete. The third one to look out for, and this is like right at the last minute, so if you see this, something is about to go down. The water deluge system, which is basically just spraying a hose underneath the vehicle. It's not that much. That will turn on around 30 seconds to a minute before ignition. I forget the exact timing. It's somewhere within there. That tells you that static firing is imminent. So be on the lookout for that as we pass the siren and pass header tank filling. Whew, I think I got it all. Sawyer, did I miss anything?
No, I guess the only thing to note is that the overpressure notice that we received goes until midnight. So it's likely going to be earlier than that. Again, just based off of where they are in terms of fueling and how much liquid oxygen has been loaded so far. But they have until midnight, so if something were they needed to abort for some reason, they could probably try again. But we're still hoping that we're on track for a static fire very, very soon, TM.
I'm still just like, what do I even say? Wow. All right, well, thank you for the recap, Ian.
Tried my best.
Yeah, I'm still just sort of reeling here. But like Ian said, watch out in this view that we have up right now for that water deluge or sprinkler system or whatever you want to call it to start up. That will be an indication that we're real close. But before that, we should probably, hopefully, get a siren from Boca Chica Village. I'm not sure we will be able to hear it on stream.
And Todd Johnson with the $100 super chat saying to pay for Brussels sprouts to load up the methane tanks.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, brother.
Man. Thank you, Todd.
Or I guess
Thank you so
Taco
much.
Bell?
It's incredible. I feel like that methane would be far too dirty. You need to like purify it. Okay, let's do a collab with Explosions and Fire.
I love how we're talking about improving all of our content and putting out high quality stuff, and these are the jokes we're making.
All right, I'm going to say, if you're on this live stream, you know what you're in for, so it's not our fault. And Mark Lehman with another 100. No comment, but just thank you so much, Mark. And thank you so much, Todd, as well. I don't think we can thank you enough. Thank you, all of you. I don't know what to say. Sawyer, do you have a few words? Because I don't have any words.
I mean, it's the only thing I could say is it's how much this is appreciated, and I know that's why the second that we heard, oh, the ship's getting frosty, we all jumped on live because we want to bring this to you as quickly as possible and just provide you that commentary and answer all of your questions. So the fact that you guys are showing so much support back means the world, and I guess hopefully off this world, which Starship will maybe hopefully do on its next integrated flight test.
All right, well, as we get closer and closer, I just want to thank some more people. It's not just all about the high dollar contributors, which, we appreciate all our contributors, whether it's a like, or like I said, just telling your friends about us. RB, thank you for the support. They say, I feel bullied to chip in too. Thanks for the great vids. Love your coverage. Greetings from Nightly, Switzerland. Thank you, RB. But for real, I know you're joking, but for real, please, nobody out there feel like you have to support monetarily. The people that are generous enough to do so are the ones who are helping out. And if you are unable to, please don't feel bad. Please don't feel like you have to. Seriously, all you have to do is click the like button. If you want to support what we do, maybe watch the ad. Maybe if we put out a feature video that has a sponsor in it, check out the sponsor. But it doesn't have to be a monetary thing. And it's just your eyeballs. We appreciate your eyeballs. But thank you, RB, for the support. Steve, thank you for the support. They say, hi, Mom. I guess that would be Mrs. Kalevic?
Maybe.
If your mom's watching this, you have a cool mom. Infinitely Explosive, thank you for the support. They say for locks. Tracy, thank you for the super chat. We mentioned that one earlier. Thank you so much. Louis? Oh my god, I'm sorry. Thank you. Richard, thank you. James, thank you. They say sorry, the most I can do is 20. James, that's a huge amount of money. Thank you. You don't have to be sorry. Absolutely not. Rich becoming a Red Team member. SE gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Austin, thank you for the super chat. SpaceX Sammy, thank you for the super chat. They say must fill the tip jar for static fire to happen. Thank you so much. Luis again becoming a Padrat member. Musical Wolves, thank you. I'm just trying to. We're freaking out for so long there. We got a little bit behind. Moldy Space gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Methane Man gifting 10.
Hi, Steve.
10 Red Team memberships. Shadow Gunner with the payload door currently removed from Ship 28. Any guesses as to the first ship to deploy Starlink V2? I'm gonna say Ship 30. I have no idea. What do you think, Ian? First.
Ship 30 at the earliest because I think it's going to be a while till they get to orbit. Go, Jack.
Sawyer?
I'm going to go with Ship 32. Again, a little longer. They've been changing up, having to weld up some of them. Some of the dispensers
Ship
are open.
Ship 30 also, or Ship 30 as well?
As in...
Or Ship 32?
Ship after 31.
Got it, thank you. Gabriel Rhodes, thank you for the support. They say I brought this up before, but I want to...
Jack, sorry to interrupt, but we have confirmation from Nick of the siren. So the police siren has sounded, meaning we are approximately T-minus 10 minutes away. Again, very big emphasis on approximately.
Sometime around 7:10 local.
I was about to say, given maybe 7:10, maybe 7:15, but let's be on the lookout for around 7:10.
All right. Gabriel asking, what would it take for Mechazilla chopsticks to be able to hold up a severed OLM donut so that SpaceX could potentially build up a flame diverter system underneath? I am not no. Sorry. But I think the launch mount is too heavy. I think it's even heavier than the ship itself, or maybe not. I don't know, because the ship and booster are super heavy.
It's way up there. Hey, you're joining in on the pun game. Love it.
Hey. Super Steph, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Apocalypse Cow, upgrading to Flight Engineer. Thank you again, Apocalypse Cow, for all the support. Jim Cavett, gifting a Red Team membership. Thank you, Jim. Benzie, thank you for the super chat. They say, thanks for all the content. What is the potential payload to orbit from the moon versus the 150-ish tons from Earth? It would just be the Starship itself, no booster. Moon gas station. Sorry, not $400. You do not have to be sorry, it's not $400. Do we know, or have any estimates on what Starship could return from the surface of the moon? Even if it's like it has to get refilled in lunar orbit, but it can get up into lunar orbit?
I guess maybe around like 20, maybe 50 tons. It would be very limited because unless, like you said, you bring a tanker out to lunar orbit, it's going to be very tight.
Right.
Yeah.
Tom, go ahead, Sawyer.
I was going to say, a lot of it also, like for the Human Landing Services, HLS, I mean, they're going to be bringing a lot of stuff down to the surface. I don't know how much they're going to be bringing back, but I think once we get an idea more finalized of the HLS design, then we'll get a better idea of the capacity of its return from the moon.
Right. Tom 5, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Jablinga, thank you for the super chat. They say it's Flamey Flame time at Starbase again. Go S25. Wheatfield Rails, thank you for the support. Bospam? Thank you for the very generous support there. Josh Wilson, thank you for the $10 tip. They say, I think people will miss these streams. Also, I think there might not... I think I may have been Nightbot muted a while ago. Can't super chat, but here's a donation and a cut directly to you guys. Thank you for that, Josh. The tips do go directly to us, which is great. So thank you for that. Randy Fouch... Padrat member, thank you. Benzinga upgrading to launch director. Benzinga, you are absurd. Thank you. Connor Little, with a very, very generous super chat saying, sorry it's not 100. This is all I can afford to give right now. Hope the money helps. Connor, thank you so much. Y'all, if you're strapped financially, please don't donate. We're okay.
Yes.
With the support that we get from our members, with the support that we get from viewers on this stream that are able to support us that way, it is absolutely will be okay. We appreciate everybody's support. Never feel like your support, whether it's $1, whether it's a cent, whether it's just clicking the like button, is not enough. It absolutely, every little bit helps. But Connor, thank you so much. Once again, please don't feel like you need to support if you're financially strapped.
Make sure you are good first.
You are right. You are having your tab. Is that water? What's going on down there? Is that engine chill?
I think we've been waiting for the engine chill to start, so...
Yeah, that looks like the engine chill vent.
There we go.
There we go. That's a very good sign there.
I can't even talk anymore. Christian, thank you for the support. They say, why not? I get paid on Friday. Thank you, Christian. Jim, Cavett again. Thank you, Jim. I'm trying to tap these. They are not being tapped. There we go. There we go. Excellent. So we have engine chill. So Ian, what's the next thing we expect to see?
Yeah, so engine chill's coming up. Next up, one thing that we should begin to see, especially from this great camera angle we have on the aft of Ship 25, is physical engine chill. So you'll begin to see some vapors coming out from underneath the engines. Now, one thing we can be on the lookout for, but it's not really super visible, is how many engines are venting. That usually is an indicator of how many engines are going to be firing. So... Okay, so Alex is saying we're about 12 or so minutes back, or 12 or so minutes away, given that the engine chill just started. So keep on the lookout for physical vapors coming out from the bottom of the engines. Another thing to look out for are the header tanks being completely filled at the top of the ship. I haven't gotten a good look at those yet. I don't know how filled those are right now. But those are two things to look out for over the next few minutes. And like I said, the real indicator that we are right about to get some static fire action is water deluge right underneath the ship. It's going to be very close to the ground, so it's going to be a little tricky to see. But keep your eye out for a bit of water spraying underneath the ship. That'll be an indicator that we are mere seconds away from engine ignition, or at least an ignition attempt.
All right. Oh my gosh. So we're getting close. Mark Lehman with $100. What the? Did we miss a $100 super chat from Mark Lehman 10 minutes ago?
We mentioned Mark. There was so much going on, I could not click it into the queue.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Mark. Pedro, thanks for becoming a Red Team member. Astro Knucklehead, thank you for gifting $10 Canadian for some Canadian bacon. That sounds delicious. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if the panel is just like unable to keep up with all the support from y'all or what, but I'm trying to like tap things to show them on screen, and they're just like, nah, dude, you've shown enough.
Jack, the panel is definitely lagging out. I'm trying to click them when you say them too, and they just won't go.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna not click them. I'll let you be executive clicker in chief.
I don't know that I'm going to be able to help. Like, every time I click one, it just, like, freezes. There's so many things in the queue now, so... Anyways.
Seriously, thank you all so much. It's a good problem to have. How about we do... So, well, really quick, Ryan, thank you for becoming a Capcom member. Redeeminance, becoming a Capcom member. Once again, Capcom level and above, you get Discord access. Kenneth, for the super chat, says great coverage. Pedro, thank you for becoming a Red Team member. RC Horseman, with $139.99. Holy cow! And no comment to riff on, but a Canadian flag in their name, so go Canada is what I'll go with. Super Staff with $100 tip.
By the way, while you're doing that, I just want to point out, here's a better view of how we are in terms of how full the liquid oxygen side is there. And Ian, anything you can see with the header tank?
Yeah, I don't see anything with the header tank yet. It's tricky on these newer starships because the heat shield tiles are kind of over most of the header tanks, but we should see a little white frost underneath the very tip of the black tiles. So it doesn't seem like they're filled up yet, but that should be coming in the coming minutes. Also note that the liquid oxygen tank is about 1/3 full. You see a bit of white condensation towards the left side. That's just because the tank itself is very cold. Liquid oxygen is not necessarily up that high in the tank. It's just very cold inside the tank, so there's water condensing on that side. Anyway, back to you, Jack, breaking down some more because I
Pat,
Sorry, I just
thank
wanted
you for
to-
being a launch director.
yeah, no, Sawyer, that's
Just wanted to
important.
address
Thank
the
you.
wider view there.
Ian, what? Bacon, Truth, and Consequence is fun. Thank you. I'm mad at the panel because I can't tap all of these right now. Sidetracked, $100 super chat. That's insane. Full up on shirts. Glad you added the tip jar. Thanks for the last few years. Is that a? I've never heard that slang phrase before. Just wow. Russell Snodgrass gifting 50 Red Team memberships. I mean, just thank you all so much. Thank you.
Jack, if the siren was right, we may be 60 seconds away from a test, but it seems like the engine chill was really delayed.
Yeah. It could have been that there was a small hold in there somewhere. That's always a possibility, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it was about 5 minutes after we got word of the siren.
Some more venting from the ship. Yep.
A little normal venting, though.
Yes.
Yeah, happy venting.
Happy venting.
Yes.
And the venting is just to keep the pressures inside the tanks normalized, because obviously you don't want to overpressurize when you've got all these super-cooled propellants in parts of the tank.
If you can indulge me for a moment, I'm going to channel the late, great Bob Ross. And we're going to use the fan brush to just illustrate the suborbital pads A and B here. And now we'll move on to some ivory, some white ivory number 2. And we got a happy little vent. All right, I'll stop. I'm done.
Brush would be best for actually drawing the venting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be if there was DOS art happening, we would talk about that.
And is it cadmium yellow or Prussian blue or
Yes,
ochre?
titanium white.
And then let's do a friend for the vent. We'll have a nice little happy friend for the vent.
Well, hopefully we'll have a happy little static fire here coming up very shortly.
Bob Ross is dead, right? I didn't just say that and ruin a whole bunch of people's lives on stream because I thought he was.
It's been a while, yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
I know.
Sorry,
But he
Chad,
lives
if I just
on
broke
in-
that news to you.
It lives on in memes and weekend live streams. So
Amen
And
to
in
that.
just the hours and hours and hours of fantastic program. All right, so we're the status for static fire at the moment is quote any minute now. They could be in a small hold. They could be out of that hold. Something could have held them up based on when the siren happened. Siren was about 10 minutes ago, 11 minutes ago. But the siren isn't exact always. We always like to underscore that the siren is not necessarily ironclad 10 minutes on the dot, but it is an indicator that we should be wary of a potential event here. So,
by the way, for those who don't know, where does that siren actually come from? Is it SpaceX? Is it local police? Is it a loudspeaker?
Starfish walks around saying "wee woo." That's a SpongeBob joke.
Oh.
That was a SpongeBob joke.
Love
It comes from a law enforcement vehicle that drives around the production site and Boca Chica Village. It is for the Boca Chica villagers.
It used to be a whole thing, like
Right.
the cop would start the Y and drive all the way around, the siren going the whole time, but now it's like one little quick siren.
Whoop! Yeah.
But yeah, and again, we've seen it before in the past. I want to reiterate, the siren is not, they're exactly like, okay, T-minus 10:01, 10:02, 10:01 siren. It's rough. And there have been instances where we've seen some nice little venting there, but there have been instances where we see them do a siren and then SpaceX holds the count. Or SpaceX is already holding the count, but they do the siren anyway. So they may be in a little bit of a hold right now. We did see the engine chill vent start up a bit later than we had expected. Maybe they went into a hold just before the siren came up. But either way, it seems like they're still pushing forward for it, at least right now. The engine chill is still ongoing. Once that stops, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe once the engine chill vent stops, we are getting very, very close to ignition.
I mean, based on the start of the chill, like when we actually saw the vent, it may be within a minute or so, because it was a little after the siren. Normally, it starts right around the siren, but this was a little bit after the siren, so it may be 60 seconds at this point.
Also, we
all
have
eyes on the base of the pad there for that water system to start up.
I see a friend of the channel, Marcus House, is in chat. Hey, Marcus.
Hey, Marcus.
Howdy, Marcus. What's up?
Hey.
Always love it when our friends stop by.
Yeah, it's always great to see the space community popping in to support each other. It's one of the things. It's so corny to say, but it's one of the things I love so much about this community is just all the cross support. Everyone, because we're all cheering for the same thing. So.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
It looks like there might be a little bit of venting now down in the actual engine section, so it might be getting close to ready there.
Oh yeah, I see that.
They're There you go.
Unfortunately, thanks to the wind direction in this particular shot, we might not see that water system start up. That's probably why Patrick is switching back and forth between those two.
Yeah.
Good call there, Patrick. One thing I will note, since this is the first time we've had a static fire attempt in however long, 6 months, 7 months, that new berm behind the orbital suborbital pads, it looks very serious and very robust. That just used to be a bunch of dirt piled up, and they have
I
spent
remember.
a whole bunch of time in the last many months concreting that berm. They had so many concrete trucks coming and going. They had a concrete placing boom just at work all the time. I mean, I was in Starbase for the first 4 months of the year, and basically that entirety of that 4 months was just non-stop concrete work on that berm. So it's looking good. It's a good-looking berm. Hopefully, they are able to have less dust in as a result of the static fire, or hopefully, it's just better protection for the tank farm. Either way, definitely noticeable improvement to the infrastructure down there.
A good-looking berm for hopefully a good-looking burn.
There you go. Thank you, Sawyer. That was good.
Remember
I'll allow that one.
Back in the days when it was dirt, when they did the first 3-engine static fire on SN8, it just eroded away the dirt. So they're definitely trying to make it more, long-term and sustainable here.
Yeah. Hey, remember when SN8 almost destroyed itself by shattering the concrete under it? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm.
It just severed its own hydraulics. That was great.
You'd think they would have learned from that for the orbital flight test.
Yeah, about that.
Well, you don't need to worry about debris coming up into your engine bay. If your engines are so strong, it just shoves the debris miles away.
By the way, I saw someone in chat suggest Feel the Berm merch.
Randall Smith is saying it's permanent. It's a permanent berm, so it's permanent.
Permanent berm.
I'm just imagining just a triangle on the shirt to represent the berm and just saying at the bottom, feel the berm.
Michael
Like a
Deptula in
super
chat
minimalist.
says never stop berming.
What?
Well, hopefully they've learned with this berm from what they do in McGregor with all of their Raptor testing there in terms of not destroying the rest of their infrastructure, which, again, McGregor Live 24/7. You can watch that.
Yeah, I mean, it gets to a point where so much infrastructure gets destroyed, you start to wonder if it's the Bermuda Triangle. That one's from Elon John.
Ooh.
I don't.
I think everyone should be. I think it's surprising that I haven't made any of the berm jokes yet.
You've been light on the puns today, Sawyer. Are you have a fever or something? Are you feeling okay? Did you get enough potassium?
Finally over all of the health stuff that I had for the most part.
Yay! That's
And we're
so
very
good to hear.
glad.
That's so good to hear.
Yeah, that was a rough one, but it's what can I say? I was very static for a while, and now we're finally up and moving again.
And speaking of up and moving, we got some vents from near the forward flaps.
Oh, yeah.
On Starship.
Yes, there we go.
Look right towards the top there. If we can get a wide field shot, perfect. That means that the header tanks are being loaded up now with liquid oxygen and liquid methane, which is one of the final steps here in the countdown. Again, those header tanks are there eventually for when the ship comes back to land. Those will have a small amount of propellant in there that's not going to be sloshing around. It's specifically for the landing burn of the ship. So that's what those tanks are for up there. They fill those up to make this test kind of more lifelike, to make it as similar to as the vehicle would be on launch day.
Yeah,
So,
test as you fly, right? You want to test as you fly.
Exactly.
And you want to berm as you burn. I got nothing. I thought I was going to come up with something good by the time I was done saying the sentence, but
Well,
here we are.
here's the thing. If I would have made a joke about it, it would have been an abomination, so it's fine.
Wow.
That's your pun for this hour, Sawyer.
30 minutes, not hour.
Right, I'm starting a timer.
Put your pun token in the slot, in the coin slot, and we'll give you another token in an hour.
Half hour.
Stopwatch has started, Sawyer.
The deal was 30 minutes.
Oh, no.
Right, so seemingly in some kind of hold here, given that we're coming up on 19 minutes from the siren, so just waiting and trying to see what is going to happen here. Hopefully they get whatever they're working resolved and get this thing static fired. Again, the window tonight goes until midnight local time. It is currently 7:18 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So plenty of time in the window for us to chat and make horrible puns. And thank you all for being so darn generous.
Don't jinx it, Jack. There's almost 5 hours left in the window, so they have plenty of time to work here.
Jack, I haven't had dinner yet, and it's almost 8:30, so...
Well, that sounds like a
Same.
you problem, my guy.
Order a pizza. Jeez.
I ate a pound of bacon earlier, so I'm good to go. I want a
No one
Campbell, but
delivers
instead of
where I
water,
live.
it's bacon.
I want to
course
point out
you
we
do.
are seeing frost on the header tank now, by the way.
Excellent.
So that's another major step towards getting that much closer to the actual static fire.
All right, let's do a couple viewer questions, I guess, while we wait to see what happens next. FanTime23 is asking, how will the booster survive during hot staging, which requires the ship to ignite its engines while still attached to the booster? This is something that Elon mentioned, if you missed it, in his recent Twitter Spaces with Ashley Vance. Hot staging means that the ship will fire up its engines before the booster shuts down all of its engines. That is what hot staging means. It's not a Starship specific thing. It's something that was done on a lot of Soviet rockets. In fact, we talk about it on this week's Starbase update, which came out this morning. If you haven't watched that, you absolutely should. It's excellent. Matt did a great job narrating that.
Yeah,
and we discuss this whole topic. However, to answer your question here, I think it could probably be helped by maybe some fancy ring with some venting that is able to allow pressure to pass through, and maybe even like a second bulkhead above the top of the booster standard bulkhead. I don't know. There's various ways they could reinforce the thing, but it definitely seems rather spicy. It's a spicy separation choice. Let's put it that way.
Spicy and dicey, potentially.
Ian, do you have any thoughts here?
I was going to say, yeah, so it's been used a lot successfully in the past. I mean, Soyuz still uses it to this very day. Proton still uses it kind of this day. It's not really flying anymore. The Titan II, the Titan family overall very successfully used it, of course, to put people in orbit for Gemini. So I don't think it's very unprecedented. What is unprecedented is the sheer size of this. Now, the N1 rocket, which is not really a good comparison to use here for a few reasons, but the N1 rocket did do hot staging.
Maybe it's a really good comparison, Ian.
Well, I'm not gonna touch that. There are too many comparisons to be made there. But the N1 rocket would have used hot staging if it made it to stage separation. So it's not really that unprecedented here. What I'm wondering is how they're going to go about it from the engine standpoint. Are they going to ignite all 6 engines? Maybe just the 3 inner sea-level engines? Will they be full throttle? Will they be half throttle? That's what I'm beginning to wonder here. I would not be surprised to see, just the inner 3 engines at half throttle, just to get a little ullage to push them away and then get everything cranking right after it separates. But we're going to have to wait and see a little bit on that. This is very fresh information. And again, check out our Starbase update video where we dive a lot more into that and into some potential ideas for that.
And that is pinned, by the way, at the top of the chat.
Sunkid in chat says, why hot staging? Clamps were bad? ? No. It's not about the clamps being bad. It's apparently about significant payload savings that they are able to get from doing that. Plus, I mean, the flip is just kind of insane. So, as insane as hot staging is, it's slightly less insane. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, I was going to say, when you think about it, you're going from, you obviously have momentum going forward still when you separate, but then you have to ramp up the engines up to full speed and things like that, whereas with hot firing, the engines are already running either near or at their top speed, so right at separation it just continues, and that extra thrust can allow you to carry a little extra weight.
Are those RCS thrusters on the ship? And is that a drone watching?
There's a drone watching.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And real quick, one last thing about hot staging. The reason that it's really saving payload, we discussed it a few minutes ago in regards to why they have 6 Raptor engines and why they have Raptor sea levels on these ships. Gravity losses. The longer that you are kind of in your parabolic arc of flight, but not firing your engines, Earth is desperately trying to pull you back. So you begin to lose your potential performance the longer that you go between, stage separation and engine ignition. We've seen SpaceX try to cut down the time between main engine cutoff and second stage ignition on Falcon 9, and here they've gone with the pretty much holy grail solution for that problem with Starship, where there is absolutely no downtime between booster engine cutoff and second stage ignition.
Yeah, you minimize the amount of time that you let gravity pull you back down, right?
Yep.
If you don't don't hesitate before you fire your engines, and you fire them as soon as you can and just blast yourself off the top of the booster, you decrease the amount of time that gravity can pull you down, because gravity's 9.8 meters per second squared, right? And
Exactly.
every second that you're not going to space is a second that gravity's accelerating you back down towards the Earth. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm still watching for the water, though.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like the venting's slowing down a bit.
Yeah, we're sitting here, we're watching Ship 25 and trying to anticipate when it is going to do its thing. It could be any moment now. Basically, at this point, we're just watching for that water system to start up, and that's how we'll know we are moments away, within around like 10 or 12 seconds, something like that.
Yeah.
But the ship is fueled. They appear to be doing some little venti testing with either the header tank vents or whatever's going on up there in the nose cone.
It looks like the header tank, yeah.
Yeah.
And we are just waiting to see what happened next.
You know the last wacky thing, Jack, about the hot staging?
Go ahead.
Is that the booster will have a flame diverter and the launch pad won't. Like, what the heck?
What if they install a upside down shower head on the top of the booster?
On the top of the booster.
Oh,
and instead of having like a pusher rod or something, they squirt gun the ship off the top of the booster.
What if they bring back transpiration cooling, just for the
Hey,
forward dome of the booster?
I liked transpiration cooling. I thought that was really cool. But yeah,
Cool.
I didn't mean to do that. Now
Thank
I
you,
hate
Jack.
myself. Thank you, Sawyer.
Sawyer,
Don't hate
you are 7 minutes into your 30 minutes right now, so you just lost your next half hours.
I didn't make the joke. That was...
Please return your
just
pun token.
acknowledging it. I was
You
just
lost your stream
acknowledging
pun
Jack's.
privileges.
No. I think Chad will back me up on that.
Good stuff. I mean, the panel is yelling at me right now. So, Raker, thank you for becoming a Capcom member and all your earlier support. If I can tap these, is it still glitching out? No, it's still glitching out. These are 25 minutes old. There we go. JFC Honors, thanks for becoming a Padrat member. Donald Morrison, thanks for the super chat. Kevin, thank you for the support. They say, can we call the new Mega Bay Ultra Bay? I imagine UT99 announcer voice.
Ultra
Unreal
Bay.
Unreal
Yeah,
Tournament.
Unreal Tournament, yeah.
Ultra Bay.
Monster Bay. Like,
I love it. Man, now I want to play some Unreal Tournament. Well, there was that one with like the low gravity and you could just rocket launch each other. What a fun game. RB, thank you for the support. They say, just kidding about being bullied, but it kind of got out of hand tonight. However, you really deserved it. Thank you. David Spectator, thank you so much. They say 9,000 watching and only 1,000 likes. Smash that button. Thank you for saying that, David. Bideford with a $100 super chat. Thank you. They say, okay, this is Steve's mom, Mrs. Kalevic. I heard the message. Thanks, guys. Wow, really?
awesome.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
hey, his mom was watching and now she's supporting as well.
So that's
I
that's
gotta
Moldy
say,
Mom?
that's a very expensive way to communicate. Like, that's more expensive than a long distance call used to be.
Yes. Wow. Oh man, now I'm thinking about old AT&T or Sprint.
I know, right?
Distance commercial. Oh wow. Then like remember AT&T Collect? Bob, we had a baby. It's a boy. Okay. Anyways, moving on. If you know, you know. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you have no idea.
I
move right
know.
Just saying, I see a lot of support for more puns from me in chat, so beware.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way.
Docs Tater, thanks for becoming a Red Team member. Infinite. Oh, bounce. There we go. Water.
Here we go.
Patrick, can we clear the ticker? Heck yes. That
Wow.
looked like a significant duration 6-engine static fire. I'm totally guessing here, but at least that went on for a while, and holy nuggets, that was loud.
She was
Yeah.
screaming.
That was definitely
that.
6 engines.
Yeah.
Wow. That was exceptional. Look at all the smoke, too.
That's
and
a
dust.
lot of dust. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was powerful.
That seemed to be
25.
his job.
Yeah.
To be very decent duration there, so they definitely got a lot of data out of it, and it didn't seem to be any major issues. So, whew,
Ship 25 looking no more worse for the wear as well. So, all right.
absolutely.
It's
If
still
you
in
know-
one piece.
If you know how our streams work, you know that at this point I have to go rush edit the replay of this video so we can get it up on our channel ASAP. But with that, I'm going to jump off. I will hand over the reins to Das. Thank you once again, every single person on this stream, no matter how much you contributed, even if it was just a click on the like button. Your support is amazing and humbling, and we love you for it. Thank you. I'm going to go edit this
Yes,
thing.
thank
I'll leave
you.
you in the capable hands of Das and Ian and Sawyer. And to a lesser extent, Patrick. I kid. Patrick is amazing. All right. Bye.
Bye, Jack.
Bye.
Good luck pulling all the cameras again. We've got cameras all over. You know, we switched through it during the event. You can see all the different angles and stuff. And now we have an automatic system that kicks into place to start pulling the static fire to all those cameras, right? And then Jack will get all that footage down and he'll edit together a video. Then we'll toss it up on YouTube so you could watch it. We put it in like slow motion and all the other things that we do. So that is where Jack is running off to. What do y'all think, though, chat? That looked good.
Yeah, one thing that I'm looking at immediately right here is the launch pad is a bit scorched. So if you look around, kind of the two legs facing us, actually all three of them facing us, there's a bit of scorching on there, a bit of darkening, bit of brown, bit of black on there. It's totally normal with things like this, but that's one thing that popped out to me a little quick before and after when we were looking at that. But yeah, that looked very, very solid. A lot of dust kicked up, but that's what happens normally down here.
I think we saw a couple little pieces of fondag getting tossed out there. There were. Stand by. That sounded like a depress vent. I think we might have cut it on our end because it was so loud.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
And that's good for this. That's the only time that a depress vent is good. So that means that they're done at least with this test attempt. Doesn't necessarily rule out anything else happening tonight, but it means that as of right now, they are depressing the vehicle, getting it safed after the static fire, and likely moving into detanking. And getting some words from Alex here in the back channel saying that seemed like they saw about 4 tiles dropping off. So that's pretty close to my guess of 3.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at the venting. The big venting there is normal after they sort of maintain or release the pressure from the tanks. It wasn't as long as venting we had expected, but this is interesting that now it's sort of pulsing on and off. Chat, can y'all hear us okay? I know the vents are like really loud right now.
Yeah, unless it's just potentially a new way that they're testing of the depress.
Yeah,
and for context, the reason that they're doing this is because when the vehicle's up at flight pressures, like how it was during the static fire, it's at around, I believe, 6 bar of pressure, so 6 times Earth's atmosphere, which is pretty high for a rocket. Now, they need to bring it down, as they're doing right now, bringing it down to a lower pressure, safing the vehicle, just you don't want to have something super pressurized on the pad when you don't need it to be super pressurized. Just safing it a little bit, making it a little less risky there on the pad. But there's still a good amount of liquid oxygen there in the lower tank. As you can see, some beautiful condensation during this beautiful pan here.
Great panning.
This is a tilt.
Yes.
Tilt, sorry.
Pan is left to right. Tilt is up and down.
I'm not a cameraologist.
Jack's not here anymore, but I gotta fulfill the Jack role, so...
It's quick, someone say time-lapse instead of sped-up video.
Nice. We actually just put all these frames together and made them really fast.
Oh, yeah, that's what Jack's doing. You can see the methane tank does not really have a frost line there. Again, that's because during these tests, because methane can get very explosive, as we saw with SN4, they only put in as much methane as they need and none more. So there's basically a pool inside the tank dome. That's why it doesn't reach up to the tank walls itself. There's a little bit of methane in there, enough to feed the engines, and a little extra as ullage there. You can see frost ring up there at the very top of the ship, just underneath the black heat shield tiles. Those are the header tanks. That specifically is the liquid oxygen header tank. That is the forwardmost header tank. Right behind it, kind of suspended underneath it, is the ball-shaped liquid methane header tank. Both of those should be full right now, but over the coming minutes they will likely begin draining those as they move into detanking.
Excellent. Hey, real quick, y'all, there is a serious problem with our back-end panel right now, it seems. But even more super chats are still coming in. W4WWW Raker did another $100. Saying the Boca Chica Air Force relocated just before the launch. They got the memo that they need to get out of Dodge, it looked like. WW, thank you so much for the support. I'm going to skip this one because it says more pun tokens for Sawyer.
Nope. Don't skip that one.
You lost your pun privileges.
Oh, come on.
Temporarily revoked.
You have 22 minutes and 7 seconds until your next pun, Sawyer.
Hey, if Jack had heard what you were calling that camera movement, he would have gone full tilt on you.
Oh no! What? I mean, what is that? You're like in a deficit. You're like in a pun deficit, and now you have to be quiet for
He's
2
got to
hours.
take out a pun loan.
I'm using the
loan.
extra token that was just given to me with a very generous super chat, so
My
thank you,
chat,
Kotek.
Stop giving Sawyer more pun tokens.
I guess we can allow that. We've got Blake Alexander a couple minutes ago saying, boom. Also, any update on van or van replacement? Any flack from insurance? Blake, if you think that I contacted the insurance company about the van, I didn't even try. No. The van is currently in storage. We do have plans for what van 2.0 or camera platform 2.0 is going to be. And just stay tuned. Maybe we'll get some member content sort of leaking what that idea might be when it gets a little bit further down the line. But thank you so much for the $100 super chat. That's going to buy me some parts that I can use for the next camera platform.
Ooh, the Van El Camino.
The van, the El Vanmino, I think it was, right?
El Van Mino? Yeah, I think
El
so.
Van Mino. There's all sorts of other things in here. WW4 did toss a coin to your Witcher or Punster a little while ago. That was 7 minutes ago.
Thank
I
you.
don't even know which one of these we got and which one of these we didn't got because the panel's really hiccuping. Musical Wolves asked how much thrust. We don't get official information from that from SpaceX. Do we think... I mean, at this point, like we haven't reviewed the video in slow motion. Do we think that was 6 engines? But I want to take a stab at it, Ian?
I'm actually going to dive right back there. Sawyer, if you could take this for a minute, I'm actually going to go through and look at the footage that we got there.
Okay. So Ian will roll back the tape. Sawyer, what do you think? Do you think it was...
From what I saw, just based off of that thrust and again that slight staggering, I think that was all 6. It seems like way too much dust and way too much thrust for it to just be 2 engines. So to me, it looked like that was a good 6-engine static fire.
That looks about 6. At the very, very minimum, it looks like at least 2 or 3 of the sea level engines. We know that the Raptor vacs are kind of staggered a few milliseconds behind the sea level engines, so we don't really see those spin up with the sea level engines. But based on the power that it put out, that looks like quite a bit of thrust, and I think I see the flash from the Raptor vac, so I might say it's all 6.
Somebody be refreshing SpaceX's Twitter because we might get like a drone shot or something like that with confirmation of what exactly they did.
You read my mind of what I was just doing.
Nice. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Go ahead, Ian.
I think I see the flash from all 6 engines. I'm just doing some quick A/B testing. That's all.
There was the slight stagger.
Nice. Hey, I'm going to speed around some more here. Todd Goodrich, $25, saying, seemed appropriate for the static fire of S-25. Thanks for the excellent coverage, Todd. We appreciate you there. Thank you so much for the support. Also, thank you for not putting that towards more puns. I think everybody in chat appreciates that was not earmarked for puns.
Hey.
Let's see here. I want to say there's so many that are in the red. We've actually got the interface where it like highlights the chats in red if they're too old, and so there's a lot here. Infinitely explosive. I don't know if we read that earlier or if it just like bugged out in the panel. Richard Mellinson was in there as we. Rick M. missing Chris G and Thomas. We're all missing Chris G and Thomas, Rick. Thank you so much for watching. Hope the supply business is doing you good down there. I recognize your name from a lot of our videos, so thank you so much for watching. We've got Alan C. gifted some Red Team memberships earlier. We've got Flawed Perspective came through. I think we talked a lot about this. Is hot stage realistic or will it RUD? That hot staging is used on lots of different rockets, so hot staging in and of itself is not a huge problem. Now, will Starship be good with it the first time or not? It depends on how wacky the new technology they try to reinvent hot staging. We know SpaceX doesn't like to just copy what everybody else has done, right? But one way to find out, we'll see when they actually try to hot stage it.
And it's also discussed in the most recent Starbase update out today. You can watch it in the pinned comment at the top of chat after we finish our live stream.
We still have it up there. If you're bored and you just missed our voice, actually not our voices, I guess. That was Matt on today's Starbase update. Matt did such a good job on the update. Good grief.
Back with NSF after a bit of a hiatus.
I know. Some people in chat or in the comments were like, who's this new guy? I hate change. I want the old host. And it's like, Matt was around a very long time ago. I think he's around older than you. So anyway, not you, Ian, like older than the person making the comment. So anyways, I'm going to speed run some more. Russell Snodgrass, this was 50 Red Team memberships. Good grief is all I can say to that. Jim Braun said, long live Rocket Nerds. Herman High says, yes, that was really my name. Nice. Rick Skinner, Bacon Red Bull, and Dust Devil Proofing. Nice. That Dust Devil. I still don't know if we should have maybe emergency dropped that lift or something, but we secured the equipment on top, and we just rode it out. Jack doing his very best Lieutenant Dan impression on top of the lift. Todd Brewer, appreciate you there as well. Jack.exe stopped working. Abort, retry, or fail. One of those should be like bacon, I think, needs to go in there somewhere, but none of those were an R or a B. So W4, thank you so much for that super chat. I'm trying to click them if they're not displaying. It is what it is. Cohen Lewis was in there too. Randy Fooch, RC Horseman, gifted some memberships. Colin Zulk, Jasper Aviation Fan. I'm buying some time here for Jack to edit that video. How are we looking, Ian?
If I could jump in really quick,
sure,
we are working on getting a replay for you very shortly. So stay tuned.
Excellent.
Don't click off yet. There's still replays coming.
Do we think we saw like a full depress there, Ian? That seemed like a short depress, but I don't know if the sound hiccup sort of faked us out some.
Yeah, I think the sound hiccup kind of threw us off a little bit. It seemed to be a pretty long depress, and then there were continuous, few more second depresses after that. That seems to be in line, at least in my opinion, with a normal depress. Another thing I'm looking at right now are the flexible fuel or propellant umbilical cables right on the test stand. Those are frosty, and they have some condensation on them. So that kind of tells me they might be detanking right now, because there's really no other way that there would be propellants in those hoses at this moment. So I think they're going into detanking right now.
Makes sense. Like they got the static fire they wanted, they got the data they wanted, and they're going to safe the vehicle so they can get back to work on all the other work they do out there. That was a big thing we've been talking about. Like, in order to do the static fire, they have to halt all the work on all the other parts of the orbital launch mount. They were pouring concrete. Like, we have all that footage in the Starbase update. And all the other work they do, you can't, like, keep working on the orbital launch tower while you do the static fire, right? So certainly wanting to get the crews back out there and getting them back to work. But we know this was almost like perfect timing, because they got that concrete pour done, and nobody's going to be out there walking around on the concrete. You have to give it time to sort of do the initial set, not the full cure, which takes time, but just setting up enough that you can move around on top of it and not worry about leaving, cat-shaped footprints in it or whatever. But that, where they got the concrete poured and then came over here, cleared out the launch pad, and then did the static fire, seemed like it was like a plan. They love it when the plan comes together for the A-Team fans out there. Does that make sense? You think that's what they were doing? Ian?
Oh, yeah, real quick. What was that again? Okay. Sorry, I was talking in the back channel.
No, it's all good. We're talking about the replay, but we were talking about... Thank you, Jack's got me. Jack pities the fool.
I don't get that reference.
Oh, come on, really?
What? I'm not that culturally enriched.
Oh, no.
Mr. T? Really?
But you've never seen
I know Mr. T.
Okay,
yeah, it's from the A-Team.
I've never seen the A-Team. Oh, no. Am I turning into Adrian 2?
We're going to get copyright struck now. Probably not with my singing.
Toss, what have you done?
I think we're ready with a replay, if I am not mistaken. Are we going to put like the replay graphic on the screen? Yeah, there you go. That's what we like to see. So roll that beautiful footage, Patrick. Let's see the replay of the static fire.
And we won't burst your eardrums with this one, just so you can watch it.
There you go.
Ooh, those birds getting out of Dodge real quick there. Their ears are going to be ringing for a few days.
Let's watch it one more time here.
Birds have ears? I don't know.
Yes, birds do have ears.
Okay.
Like little holes in the side of their head, but... The interesting thing is, like, after an event like that, how quickly the birds go back and land. Like, even though it does startle them, within a few minutes you see them coming back to the exact same spot, and they're digging around in the water and all that sort of stuff. So
it's very interesting how they operate. It's like, there was just this extremely loud noise. All right, let's go back.
All right, let's go back. Everything's cool.
Yeah. They do the same thing down at the Cape as well, because, again, you've got two major wildlife areas, both down at Starbase and at KSC.
Yep.
So... yeah, they acclimate.
I mean, something people often forget is that space centers are often around wildlife refuges. I mean, of course, Merritt Island Wildlife Refuge. Of course, here, Boca Chica State Park is all around here. It's great because, you can't have houses. Oh, there's a drone coming up there.
Yep.
Doing some visual inspections. That's nothing too uncommon. We always see the drone up around tests like this, even around the spin primes. Just doing some visual inspections, making sure everything is looking good. Maybe if something looks a little off, they can get some close-ups.
Look at that zoom and enhance work there.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Again, these camera views made possible because of all your support. That's why we can get these great zoom ins on that tiny little drone from, what is this, like a mile away at this point?
It would be about 1.2 miles from. Well, actually, no. This camera's a lot closer in because Nick deployed this camera. This isn't at our highway site. This is a little bit closer in that Nick deployed this morning. There you go.
Here's the distance.
Look at that. That's where it is.
Nice.
It's still really cool. The rack zoom on this camera is really cool. It's Horse Cam 2.0. It's not really Horse Cam 2.0.
Horse Cam 2.0.
Its shadow. Look, you can see its shadow in the lower right-hand corner. That's the shadow of this camera there on the other side of the currently dry reflecting pool area. Yeah, there you go. I mean, just make sure you leave the rocket in frame because that's what we're actually interested in here. So, anyways, we got the replay done there. Of course, when we edit the video, which Jack is doing right now, we'll play it back in slow motion and that sort of stuff. So y'all can watch it and you can pause it and you can look at all the different things. When we play it back in real time like that, it is kind of difficult to see the individual spin-ups. So, anyways.
Yeah, and there'll be multiple angles as well from all the different cameras that are deployed too.
Yep. Let me see. I couldn't clear up all the other stuff before. What happened, Ian?
That zoom, just sudden, boom, right in.
Oh, yeah. You know the cool thing about this camera? It has a built-in rangefinder. And as it's zooming, it's also taking the range to the target you've pointed it at, and it knows what the focus of the lens should be before the lens finishes moving. So the lens, this normally doesn't happen unless it's like a parafocal lens, right? But the lens is in focus before it actually moves to the new focal length because it already knows the range and it knows how to do it. And that's why this specific camera can do what you just saw. Sorry,
That's
camera technical
crazy.
nerd stuff. Like,
No, we're all nerds here. We like that stuff. That is
I was
nuts.
gonna say, there's a good chance if you're watching this stream, you'd probably be interested in that kind of stuff too.
yeah, this
Yeah,
is the same camera we used for the SRB test in Utah. Jack took this exact same camera unit to that test and captured that footage with that. And we've also used this exact camera at Stratolaunch out in Mojave. And it ended up down here as part of the Starship orbital test. Jack actually brought it all the way from California, and it has been living here at Starbase as one of our tripod deployable cameras with this crazy zoom ability. So anyways, I'll stop talking about the camera. I think it's a really cool camera, though.
I think that's some awesome technology. Just focusing before it's even zoomed in fully. That's nuts.
Yeah. It's a really cool effect to show off.
Oh, that's awesome.
Let's see here. We're still going to wait until they finish up with the ice coming off the vehicle, I think. So let me say thanks to just a few more people here. Astro Knucklehead, thank you, says, Das, $5 now, $10 later if you could be the first time on NSF for 2 years. Astra Knucklehead, sheesh. What did I just miss?
Let's
If
see.
you could be the first time on NSF for 2 years. Astro, I get it. Canada, like, I get that too. Knucklehead, I get that too. Did I, like, say your name wrong or something?
I don't know. It's not clicking for me. Maybe we're having a moment.
I think it's the
but-
pronunciation of Astro
Yeah.
Knucklehead.
Knucklehead. Did I say it wrong at some point? I apologize.
Unless we're saying Canuck wrong.
I have no clue. Is it like the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable or something? Emphasis. Anyways, Astro Knucklehead, thank you so much for the support. Isaiah Salazar says, thanks for the amazing coverage. We're able to do it because y'all keep showing up. Even if you're not able to financially put any money in the hat or anything like that, you show up, you click the little thumbs up thing, and that lets us continue to do what we do. You see a video come out, Starbase Update or This Week in Spaceflight or whatever, and you click on it, you watch it, you listen to a podcast mode, whatever you do, y'all showing up and being a part of the community lets us continue to share these experiences with people everywhere. So thank you. What is this? No, this isn't allowed. Jack Buyer? No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That is not the cost for pun tokens, actually, Jack.
Hey, I'll take it. Thank
no.
you, Jack.
Sawyer,
Okay.
you still have 7 minutes and 37 seconds till your next pun, so no.
$4.99 gets you a 2-word pun. You can think about that for a little bit.
Little
We'll come
bit.
back.
A little bit. Nice. Bazinga, oh well. Never mind. Bazinga also put in more funds for puns. $20.
Puns.
Pun,
Are we
yeah.
calling them puns
Puns.
instead of funds? Puns.
Shadow
PUNDS.
66. Oh no. Great coverage. Here's more pun tokens for Sawyer as
Hey.
well. Cole Logan added into the pun token fund. If y'all aren't careful, this is just going to be all puns in a second here. So I think you're clear for another pun or two when it works. Not on call. You don't have to like dance.
It's when the time is right.
When the time is right, I guess you're clear. Through the generous support of people who are gluttons for punishment.
It's rubbing off. I love it.
I had to throw it in there. That counted as one of the pun tokens, honestly. So,
no, these are my pun tokens.
All right. How we doing on time? Oh, yeah. We can. If we're able to look at a frame-by-frame frame-by-frame replay, should we go like one step at a time and watch the close-in shots frame by frame? I think we might be ready for that to go here. I'm down to see that.
I always love to see frame by frames.
Look at this. What do you think, that's 1 or 2?
So what I saw here, you see the Raptor vac starting up.
Mm-hmm.
You see that plume there, and it pushes down that orange. It gets darker orange under the RVACs as they throttle up, and boom, I think we have all 6 firing there.
Let's roll it back. Let's roll it back one more time, and Ian, I'll be quiet, and you say when you see each thing. Just step through it slow, Patrick,
Yes.
and let's let Ian talk about what he sees in the frame-by-frame replay.
All right, and I want to stress that I'm no rocket scientist just yet. I still have a year of school until I become that.
Right.
But we're looking at here, right about to see the engine spin prime. There we go. We have center engine ignition. Those are the Raptor sea levels igniting. Now we're going to see that plume get a bit larger. It's going to spread out on the ground, kind of obscuring the Raptor vacs. Now we're going to see a plume coming out right there from the Raptor vacuums. You could see it coming down. There, it's coming down right now. Those are coming down from the Raptor vacuums as those spin up. Now those are igniting right about now. We're going to start to see the plume there. You can see it's bright orange underneath those. The plume is going to get shot down as they begin throttling up. You can see it happening right there. Those engines are now throttling up. You can see they are active because it is clear. You can see to the back bulkhead of Starship there because of the clear exhaust. So now all 6 engines, I believe, are firing right now. The dust begins to obscure us, and then we lose sight of the engines. But I believe that's roughly the ignition pattern we're looking at right there. And again, one good giveaway there is the clear exhaust. That's actually something I just noticed right now. You can see through it right to that back pipe on the back end of the test stand.
Yeah.
You can see the center engines are igniting now. Oh, I like this.
Neat.
So once again, the center engines are igniting right now. They're beginning to slowly ramp up. If we can start, there we go. Beginning to ramp up. The thrust is starting to get pushed to the side. The Raptor vacs are beginning to spin up right now, shooting out that liquid oxygen. They're igniting now. You see them beginning to push some of the plumes away from underneath the Raptor vacuum engines. Ooh, very nice. And now they're beginning to throttle up. The exhaust is starting to get clearer and clearer as they get to full power. Now again, that's because liquid methane exhaust, there you go, you can begin to see towards the back of the test stand there, the plume is becoming transparent. So when liquid methane burns like this, it is very, very clean. You don't get the soot that you get in Carolox, like with Falcon 9's propellants. You can see through the exhaust very, very well on methane engines. Same with hydrogen engines, and that's one thing that we can notice here is the plumes become transparent as they throttle up. So just some fun little facts there to follow along with.
Very cool. And we'll get more angles, y'all. With Jack's pulling all these, pulling all the footage down, we'll have it from a couple different angles. Of course, that's the closest in angle we had right there from the fancy close-in camera that Nick deployed for us this morning. Pretty sure it was this morning. Either way, it's out there. So we will get more of that when that edited video is ready. Real quick, Astro Knucklehead says I apparently got it right for the first time ever. I must have been saying like Astro Canuck or something like that, or I don't know, Canuck Ulhead, or I don't know how I was pronouncing it, mispronouncing it. It seems obvious now, but thank you so much for the additional 10 Canadian dollars there, Astro Knucklehead.
By the way, I just want to point something out that Alex mentioned here in our back channel that I think is really good to mention. These engines were installed 7 months ago, and this is the first time that all of them have been fired attached to Ship 25. And it looked like they performed exactly as planned. Just showing the way that SpaceX is integrating and improving, and yet even still, the engines from 7 months ago did what they were supposed to do, at least on this test.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you said, these engines have been sitting outside in salty air because we're right next to the ocean. Or Doss, maybe you can correct me there. Is the air salty down there? Not really.
Oh no, the air is definitely salty, especially the different way that the winds blow. Like if you leave a tool, like a wrench or something like that, out one night, it will have a little patina of rust on the outside of it. Like unprotected metal rusts ridiculously fast, even if you don't have to dip it in the water. It doesn't have to get rained on or whatever. Rain would be fresh water anyways, right? But just the air environment out there will, within 24 hours, start to rust unprotected metal. It's a punishing environment.
Now, the thing that's fascinating is, not only have these engines survived for 7 months, but we've seen on rockets, salty sea air can really, really mess up your rocket. I mean, look at literally SpaceX's first ever rocket launch, Falcon 1 Flight 1. It failed because of corrosion from the salty air. So again, this is a testament to SpaceX engineering and how robust the Raptor and Starship overall is, because these vehicles, Ship 25 is about a year old, I believe. It's pretty old. They finished it, I believe, right before they paused assembly to really push forward on the orbital flight. So this is an old vehicle in Starship terms, and it just lit up no problem, it seemed.
Yeah, it's just amazing because the ship's been out there for a couple weeks at this point, right? And it hasn't been in a building, it hasn't been in a clean room, it hasn't had like a structure protecting the bottom of it, because that's sort of what they're going for. If you have to treat the rocket like a fragile flower, how are you going to build 1,000 of them? How are you going to fly them back and forth to Mars? How are you going to field that fleet that Elon and SpaceX imagine that they want to build? You have to have a robust thing that doesn't have, can I say, doesn't have to be coddled? I think that's probably the right way to say it.
You don't need to baby it. I mean, they compare it a lot. SpaceX and Elon compare it a lot to the airline industry. But if you think about it, they really do need to do it from this perspective as well, because planes will land, of course, inland at like Denver, where you don't need to worry about salty air.
Yep.
But they'll also land at, say, St. Thomas or Puerto Rico or, I don't know, other beach towns where it's salty air. They need to deal with that thousands of times because of how long an airplane needs to last. So they need to be engineered for that. So Starship needs to be engineered for that as well if they want to do, multiple flights per week per ship or something, or even point to point someday. You need to have that robustness in place.
Yep. It's going to be interesting to see how they protect the ground infrastructure as well. Remember after the orbital launch, how the OLM was like totally rusted out? And if you have to go, I mean, we know they do, all the launch pads get maintenance after launches, right? But how do you create a launch pad that doesn't just become a rust bucket because it's getting blasted with exhaust every other day? Right?
Yeah, you're fighting two problems here, because not only do you want your launch pad to have little to no maintenance, which is in itself for any rocket, be it Starship or literally just Electron, is an incredibly complex task.
Yep.
But then you bring in the size of Starship and how powerful those engines are and how complicated the vehicle is, the cryogenic propellants you need to deal with there, and you are fighting an uphill battle. In every sense of the term, you are fighting uphill. So it's going to be a long way until SpaceX gets to a sustainably low maintenance launch site. And again, that's not what Boca Chica is meant to be. This is meant to be just, let's throw some mud at the wall. Let's get a vehicle in the air and see what happens. This is not meant to be their long-term solution. If they're sticking with this OLM in 10 years, either something's gone really wrong or this design turned out to be absolutely amazing and they did not expect it.
You know what? Okay, I'm making stuff up now because there's no indication this will ever be a thing. But I'm like envisioning this like sci-fi launch mount that repaints itself after the launch. Like there's these robotic rings and stuff, and the rocket takes off, and as soon as it cools down, it's like, and it gets a new coating on it, and it's ready for the next rocket.
So you have like the methane tank, the oxygen tank, the nitrogen tank, the gray paint tank.
Yeah, the gray paint tank, exactly.
I guess the question then is, how do you make sure that it doesn't get blasted during launch as well?
Well, you have another tank next to it that paints the paint tank to protect the tank that holds the paint that paints the rest of the... Anyways.
How about you just get rid of this?
Does it free.
Your deluge system is paint. Boom, problem solved.
Oh, jeez.
It's like an upside-down paint shower head. I don't know if that's a good idea.
We're making some... SpaceX, these ideas are free. Don't worry.
The ideas are free. Okay, how we looking here, y'all? I'm juggling a little bit because I only have one monitor where I am right now, but we still have beautiful sort of golden hour views of the sun going down. Special dust. Wait, what? No, that sounds like TOS behind the scenes content. I'm not sure we're going to release that video. Did I miss any specific super chats? I'm trying to get as many of them as I can, y'all. Let's see. Red-blooded American, thank you for becoming a Red Team member. Rob L. Here we go. Okay, here we go. I think it's an L. Arlob L or Riob L, one of those or the other. This is a $50 tip. So not using the super chat system, which is awesome, but using the direct tip link, tips.nasaspaceflight.com, or there's a command for it as well if somebody puts that in chat. A $50 tip that goes directly to NSF that says, love the coverage and y'all make rocket science easy for everyone. I mean, it has to be easy for us to understand it, so I'm kidding. You're actually in school for this, aren't you, Ian?
I just finished my junior year and I'm doing a summer internship for engineering. So yeah, it's this stuff is really complex. I mean, people do say, it's rocket science, but engineering overall is a very complex game. You're fighting a lot of fires at once. Sometimes literally.
Sometimes literally. Luckily not today. I didn't see any burning dumpsters out there today, did you?
No wildfires either. I guess it looks pretty green down there. I guess it's been raining a bit.
Yeah. But I think your name is Relob? I don't know how to say it. But it is one of the things we try to do. We don't sit here and read like a press release to you or anything like that. We don't have like a script and it's like, now we will talk about the payload for 3 minutes. Or whatever. It was like slide 3. Please show our, whatever. We don't do that.
Here, watch this video.
Here, watch the host while the rocket's launching in the background.
I may lean out of the way so you can see it since it's behind me. No, we don't do that. We're rocket nerds. We love this. Sometimes people must come into this channel and be like, who are these people? Like, what happened to NASA? Where do they get these nerds from? But we have a ton of fun with it. We hope that rubs off. Y'all keep showing up for these streams. And one of the things that we sort of do is translate what we know, what we understand about how the rocket works into terms that everybody can understand. And if you don't understand something, feel free to ask us in chat. Somebody in the chat may answer you. We may answer you. There's so many questions come through, it's hard for us to get them all. But helping people understand and appreciate what's going on, even if they don't have a degree in rocket science, is one of the things we try to do. But also, y'all are smart people. It's not like we're just going to draw it in crayons for you and assume that you can't understand anything. We sort of like run the entire gamut from technical dives as to how things work all the way down to talking about Jack cooking bacon, right? I don't know what that has to do with rocket science, but we do it so that everybody can feel included and a part of this community. Like across the board, we want everybody to feel welcome here so that they can learn something, appreciate something, whatever. I'll stop waxing about that, but Rob, thank you so much for the $50 tip direct to NSF via that tips.nasaspaceflight.com.
Uh-oh, look at this. We have some missing tiles here on the belly of Ship 25. Now, it seems like quite a big bunch there at the bottom. I don't know. Something SpaceX has been doing with ships recently, they'll take a patch of tiles off near the engine section to attach ropes to kind of, help guide the ship when it's being lifted by a crane. I don't know if that tile group there was missing before the static fire or if that just fell off during. But either way, it looks like we had at least 6 tiles naturally fall off. We had 2 there up on the top of the screen and 4 kind of really in one row there at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, some of those were missing before, and I wonder, I don't know if I'm looking at this image and inferring things that I'm not actually seeing, but some of the holes look cleaner than others. And again, that's what I think I see, right? But I wonder if some of the dirtier looking gaps have been that way for a little while, and some of the cleaner looking gaps are tiles that got shaken off in that test. We should have this sort of angle from another person, or have this video from earlier, and we should be able to sort of compare and contrast. Here's what it looked like before, and here's what it looked like after. I think we may actually have, now we do have actually pictures from this morning showing the tiles that were already there, but again, not official confirmation from the SpaceX tile inspector or anything like that, but I feel like some of those gaps are dirty, which may indicate that they were gappy for a while. They weren't a result of this test. and some of them might be cleaner, like the tile might have popped off when the Raptors popped off. Let's see.
Oh, that
if
was
we
a
can
good
get
one.
these pictures. You like that? I mean, you know, it's not really a pun, I don't think.
No, but it's good wordplay.
Wordplay. Thank you.
Alex is saying here in the back channel that that cluster we're looking at there in the bottom right of the ship, just to the left of those lights there, that was missing today. So that could be purposefully taken off, or they just took it off ahead of time, something like that. But yeah, something to keep in mind there. Not all of these fell off during the static fire. And it looks like towards the left side of the ship, just to the right of the left flap, that could confuse me there. Looks like there might be some missing tiles, maybe some different colored tiles, but something's up there on the left side of the ship as well.
Yeah, and a lot of these spots that were missing tiles beforehand are there intentionally that may be covered up once flight begins. So I know Alex mentioned the location that has the missing tiles there is where they put the taglines.
Yep.
And
we're
there
working
we
on
go.
getting the picture. Yeah, there you go.
And it looks like a stray tile kind of right above the right tagline was missing as well earlier today. So looks like around, I think, 5 tiles total missing from the static fire.
I think there we go.
Yep, that's this morning. You see the
Those
2
are-
taglines.
Yep, like the connect point for the lines that keep it from spinning out of control while they're lifting it or moving it around or whatever, right?
Yep, exactly. And that gives crews a little bit of manual power for when they're lifting it off or putting it right on the launch mount to perfectly align it, because the crane, it's so big and so far away, you can't perfectly align it.
And then could we go back to the view of right now, knowing that these 2 gaps are there you go. So the 2 in the middle, those look like they may have popped off. There's 2 just, and see how they look cleaner? I'm not just seeing that, right? Do y'all agree that they look cleaner? Oh, there we go. Look at that.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, they do, because you can see the ones at the bottom, the taglines, that's the steel exposed. So that's a bit darker than the white felt that's exposed when the tiles fall off and show, the white fabric underneath. So it looks like we lost 5 tiles from the static fire itself.
5, 6 maybe, because the right-hand cluster, there's one missing on the top of the right-hand cluster. See that?
Good eye, yep.
Yeah, and I mean that one looks a little cleaner than the other ones that were uncovered before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 2 up top look like half tiles, maybe where there's a seam.
Yeah, that's right along a seam there, because you can see it's kind of half hexagons.
Yep.
So that area there might be a little weaker naturally. We've seen a lot of those edge tiles come off before.
Yeah. And that's just a natural place where this, again, remember, as the steel gets hot, it gets cold, it flexes, it changes. Part of keeping the tiles on there is dealing with the changing shape of the ship as it goes through the loading, the extra force from fueling it, and then the temperature changes, contract, and then it heats back up and it expands again. All those sorts of things change the geometry that the tiles are actually attached to, right? And that can make some of them pop off. You don't even need the engines to fire and the force of the engines to sort of pop them off, right?
Yeah. Those
Exactly.
tiles... Sorry, go ahead, Sawyer.
No, I was just going to say, like you were mentioning, the vehicle basically comes alive anytime you start fueling it. When you pressurize it and depressurize it, it's going to start, changing the shape and deform ever so slightly. Not so much that it compromises the integrity of the vehicle, but enough that a tile that is already sensitive enough to being stuck on might come off. And again, that's probably going to be expected during flight. It's just a matter of them not coming off in a mission critical part, which at this point it doesn't seem like any of those would be.
Yep. Let's see here. Raker. All right. Raker just wants me to call him Raker. The delusional deluge system. And Raker is fine.
The water
$20.
delusional system.
The water delusional system. Thank you so much for the super chat there. There's one that just came from Tips, and it's a $5 tip, and it says #redacted. I'm not reading that on air. Come on. Seriously?
Got me worried a second there.
I was about to say, you're not going to say that.
We appreciate the $5 there. Besides, the whole theme of Starship via Elon's recent update is never stop thrusting. So anyways, let's see here. I think I've got a lot of them. Do we have any regular questions we might want to hop over to?
Musical Wolf's here with a real quick question and a $2 super chat along with that. It's just saying how much thrust. I think it's safe to say the thrust was 6.
6?
How much thrust? Yes.
I'll buy it. Yes.
Yes. But if you want actual numbers, so it's 6 times 230. So that'd be around 1,380 tons of thrust. 1,380 tons of thrust. So
Assuming
quite
they
a
went
bit.
to full power, right? Was that a full power
Yes.
calculation, or?
That was a full power calculation. We know with at least the super heavy static fires, they really like to go about half throttle. I would not be surprised in the slightest if this was around half throttle. Maybe a little higher if they could spare it, but it's probably around, 700 to 800 tons of thrust.
Do the vacuum Raptors make similar thrust to the sea level Raptors at sea level, or would that be a little bit less thrust on the vacuum Raptors?
That's a good question.
I'm overcomplicating it now, but it's rocket science.
I feel like it'd be a little less than the sea level engines, because they're not perfectly optimized.
Yeah. Huh. Anyways, it's a lot. How's that?
Yeah, it's a noticeable amount of thrust.
As long as people understand, like, we don't have official word from SpaceX, so when we say things like this, we're talking to you out of experience, things that we know about rocket engines. We're not reading a gauge in SpaceX mission control and telling you what the number was, right? So I think everybody here sort of understands that. I wonder how Jack's doing. Jack is screaming about how cool some of the footage is while he edits it. Oh, all right, we're gonna watch this.
Speaking
apparently.
of the cool footage.
Nice.
This is it.
Let's see what we got here.
Oh, slow motion to see each of the engines light.
Yep, there's one. That's another one or two. All right, fell into a false gate there, so we're going to go on to the next one. Did you watch the lockpicking lawyer?
Yes.
Sorry. Then back to 3 again. No, sorry. Keep stepping through it, Patrick.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
And then it
And
just
the
gets so
artifacts.
bright that it's hard to see.
That's likely the other 3.
There's some Raptor vacs in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a metal print if I've ever seen
What
one.
a cool shot.
Look at that.
Admittedly, Nick had a fantastic shot that might be worthy of it as well.
Look at God. Again, that's one of the videos that Jack is working on editing, and then Jack was gushing about how cool it was, and so we showed it to you here. And we have to stop showing them the video so they'll actually watch the edit that Jack's doing. Want to see more? Click the link or whatever.
Well, this is just us counting engines.
There you go.
So you talked about this earlier, Dos. Golden hour. I mean, look at this now. It's beautiful. Just a ship reflecting orange right now. The berm and the orbital launch mount tanks are all lit up orange. It's beautiful down there, and just this crisp visual we're getting from this up close camera as well.
Yep, it's so nice. It really is nice.
I want to get down there sometime. It seems like a great place to visit.
You can come and hang out in the NSF Media Chalet.
Hey, I'd be down.
That's where I am right now.
The NSF party house.
The NSF.
Here's the thing.
No. It's a nice.
You were
media
talking about
chalet.
metal prints. I think this might deserve to be a metal print as well. This is Nick's shot of the static fire.
Nice.
Look at that.
I think we're pulling that off a tweet, aren't we?
Yes.
Let's see if we can't grab that tweet and put the link into chat so people can have a look at it directly as well. And
I've
get
got
on
the
over
link.
to Nick's. Yeah, just paste it into chat a few times.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll go check in the store to see if somebody's going to make a metal print of that or not. Let me go look while y'all continue to talk.
As me and Alex both spam the link in there. There you go. Now you can't miss it.
Wow, look
Nice,
at that.
Thank you.
Oh,
Nice
the lighting
product.
on that is gorgeous.
At this angle, you're getting the silhouette of Starship, along with the suborbital pad A there on the right. Now, quick little fun fact here while we have a moment while they're going through detanking right now. The ship right now, Ship 25, is sitting on suborbital pad B. Obviously, this was the second pad built, but now as they've ended the suborbital test flights of Starship, pad B is used basically entirely for static fires. So if a ship is put on pad B, there's a pretty solid chance it's going into some engine testing campaign. Now, suborbital pad A on the right, that's often used for cryogenic proofing, but it hasn't really been used that often because they're using the Massey's test site now. Just a quick little piece of trivia there. So if a ship is going onto pad A, probably just going to go through some basic cryogenic proofing. Pad B, you're likely in for a bit of a nice visual ride there. Also, speaking to the berm we talked about earlier, you can see it's pretty charred right now. It's got some soot on there from the engines. Again, all that power has to go somewhere, and that berm takes a brunt of an impact right there.
Yeah, and again, that's why they've built that berm up in particular by suborbital pad B, is for this very reason. And looking at it, it looks like it fared a lot better than the straight dirt berms before.
It's almost as if, Sawyer, correct me if I'm wrong, but concrete is a little bit stronger than dirt in certain applications?
In certain applications.
Yeah, potentially.
Okay, concrete is not better than dirt in gardening applications. Boom.
Hydroponics?
This little piggy built his launch pad out of dirt. This little piggy built his launch pad out of straw.
So one puts dust everywhere, one sets everything on fire.
This little piggy poured 132 trucks of refractory cement under his orbital launch mount, and it all got blasted out at the next launch.
With the proper amount of reinforcing rebar to handle the compressive and tensile strengths of the blah, 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 blah.
Over a 3-month construction process with several environmental processes. I think that's how that one ends, right?
I think that's how that goes, yeah. Something
And
about
a
going to market
partridge in a
afterwards.
pear tree. Oh wait, wrong one.
Thank you.
Oh, nice wide field shot there. Now, Doss, you're down there a lot, so this question might go to you.
Yes.
Those dirt piles there on the right, they're putting in new utilities along Highway 4. Is that correct?
No, that's for the NSF flame trench.
Oh, okay. That's the NSF direct fiber line to the pad, because we're putting up some camera towers, right?
Oh, I wish. I'm going to go out there in the nighttime with a little mirror to see if I can splice the fiber towards our site. No, you're right. They're upgrading some of the electrical capacity around there. And it's interesting, they don't put a lot of above-ground utilities out there, not just because of the... it's a wildlife preserve, right? And it would be, honestly, ugly if they put a bunch of high lines going out to the launch pad. But also protects them from winds when hurricanes and tropical storms come in. They have them down underground, and they're in waterproof bunkers, blah, 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 and they're a little bit more resilient to the weather that we get. So they're burying those underground. They've dug that big trench there. Originally, it was going to be really quick. It does make it a little bit difficult for us to access the site that this camera's at, but yeah, not for the NSF flame trench. That is for SpaceX utilities going out to the pads.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what the temperature is right now. I'm actually down here right now, but I'm not going to step outside and see what the temperature is because it's nice and cool in the air conditioning where I am. So.
Absolutely. It's been, of course, not Texas bad, but it's been pretty brutally humid and hot up here in Pennsylvania, like 99% humidity. So
you want to know the wackiest thing?
What's that?
I just got back from Spaceport America, where Jack and I were providing live stream support for that student rocket launch competition.
Uh-huh.
It's nice and cool here in Brownsville.
Because you don't have that desert heat, yeah.
Compared to the 108 degrees that it was out in the desert, it was brutal in the desert. No humidity, thank goodness, but the heat was definitely on. And then I came down here to Brownsville, and I got out of the truck, and I was like, why does it feel so cool outside? And the thermometer says 90-something.
Greetings from Florida, by the way, here.
Yeah, right.
Where it's been hot and humid.
Look at this. We do have a little weather thing there at the highway site. Unofficial weather, but if you like community-driven weather, I guess, it says it's currently 85 degrees Fahrenheit. It feels like 100 degrees because almost 90% humidity in the air right now. So that's why you get the side of the ship so frosty whenever they get the cryogenic propellants in it. It's literally freezing the 89% humidity out of the atmosphere onto the side of the rocket. We're going to make a video about that, actually. I want to go and freeze atmospheres in different locations to the side of metal and show how the ice differs from, you know, say Vandenberg, say Mojave, say the Cape down here in Brownsville. Like, what do you get frozen out of the atmosphere if you take a cryogenic liquid, because we want to have something really cold, and just put it in a container and allow the atmosphere to freeze to the side? I think it's going to be really interesting to see what that looks like in different locations.
All right, who allowed DOS to get cryogenic liquids?
Not telling.
Somebody's going to be like, I made a pressure washer using liquid nitrogen.
No,
oh
what
my
a liquid
gosh.
nitrogen pressure washer would be for. But it sounds exciting. Let's see here. How we doing? Again, folks, we're hanging out. Jack is editing that video, and we are going to have that video or we're going to keep talking to you, hanging out here until we get that video. And I think that it is coming shortly. Now that I scroll through weather stuff.
I just gotta say one thing. I love how off topic we'll get so quickly. Like now the back channel is just weather chats. Just like, hi from 109 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 67 here, 53.
Can you imagine like an actual broadcast like the Super Bowl and they're like, oh, here's my... Hopefully the Super Bowl's big enough that they shouldn't be posting... I don't even... Why is that the Joker from one of the Batman movies in the back channel? I don't even understand sometimes. But anyways.
I wonder what the
love
temperature
this
is. Wonder what the temperature is where some of our viewers are. See if you can beat 109.
Oh yeah. In literally any other news, taking a look back here at the... What was that?
They're moving the stand.
Oh yeah, the engine stand.
Look,
I didn't even see that.
They're moving it. That's what I was... That's why we switched to this camera, Ian.
It's so slow, I didn't see it.
It's stuck at the roadblock.
It's like, I want to go to the test site.
It's turning to go to the crane yard right now. Sometimes they have that thing sort of sitting in the crane yard. So, I don't know, probably just getting it out of the way, but look at that.
This is just a great perspective of just how big and active the production site is right now. Like a rocket literally just did engine testing 1.5 miles down the road. They're building a new high bay. They're extending the factory. Work is probably going on in the tents right now. Look at the rocket garden. They have so many rockets they're building. They don't have enough places to store them. They're just sitting on temporary stands. Like that's how crazy this is right now.
And random nose cone type pieces sitting out and
hanging out.
You don't even see 25 from here, do you?
Nope.
That's way off to our right in this shot. We can't change this one. This is the one that's actually doing the time lapse of the Mega Bay, the Mega Bay 2, High Bay 8, whatever number it is, right? But this camera has not been PTZ'd for over a month, and we're going to take all the footage from it and make one huge mega time lapse of the bay being created. So,
I cannot wait to see that, but it's going to be about 6 months till we get to see that.
And that's the spaceflight official going with his name still of Michael Bay.
Every time I see that, I think it's going to be Michael Baylor, but unfortunately not.
Slightly different. Patrick, do we have one of the channel cams, like Channel 1? Because Channel 1 does show the side view of the rocket garden. I don't know if we have that one piped in right now. We have so many cameras, we can't pipe them all in now. Like, we need more powerful servers to do the production. We have so many cameras. We have to sub-switch some of the cameras, which means there's another computer that's choosing which shot is coming in on this single channel so that we're not overloading the server with too many shots. One of the perils of using IP cameras and cloud infrastructure for this, but whatever.
Give us a year, we're going to rival Amazon Web Services.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, jeez.
Used Amazon Web Services to spool up servers on the fly, but it may take us a second to get that one, because that one is not one that we normally use. So, anyways. It looks like Jack's video is uploading.
On
that.
Uploading. Yeah.
Uploading, yeah. So we may have that shortly. We'll have to get the words and stuff on it. You would not believe how much work goes into putting a single video on YouTube. It's a ridiculous amount of work. Like, somebody needs to come up with the words to type, and then double check the 15 screens that have all the options that you have to choose to make sure that it's deployed correctly and the notifications go out. And it's not just like toss out one video.
Yeah.
So that's happening right now, though.
I've learned a lot from working at NSF, but I've earned a lot more respect for anyone who makes videos. This is not just, okay, let me shoot it, let me just edit it, cool, I'm done at the end of the day. No, this is like, okay, this person checked it now, this person checked it. Is it good to go? Double check this. We missed that. Go, go, go.
Yep.
It's a long and arduous process, and I have major, major respect for anyone who does video or movie editing out there.
Yeah, it's a lot that goes into it. Sure, getting the scripts right, making sure the video looks good. Sometimes that has to be reshot just to make sure we put out the best product. And then on the editing side, it takes a decent amount of time, especially if you want to put out something high quality and do some of the fancier techniques that you see on these other channels to try, again, just improve the content and make it more visually appealing. It's a lot, but I think in the end it's worth it.
Speaking of visually appealing, Patrick, you can just say, no, DOS, that shot's lousy right now. I'm going to have to stop by that location and clean off those camera lenses, it looks like.
But again, we're looking now at Ship 25 on suborbital pad B, just under an hour ago, literally a few minutes under an hour ago, I believe 7:27 p.m. Central Time. Ship 25 performed what seemed to be a 6-engine static fire, around 3 seconds or so in duration, so pretty typical. They're currently finishing up detanking the vehicle. Still a bit of frost on liquid oxygen tank seams, so there's still a little bit of LOX left in the vehicle, but it is beginning to ramp itself down. The road is still closed. They still have the possibility of doing more testing tonight, but given that they seemed to have a good duration static fire, I find that possibly unlikely. We're going to stick around, watch the vehicle as it detanks, and then see what Jack's video has to offer.
Interesting, there's no tweet from SpaceX that we've seen yet.
Just going to say that I've been flipping between SpaceX and Elon's Twitter accounts and nothing.
Yeah. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's a problem. It just usually means there's a lot going on. But that is one of the things that we look for, like the official tweet from SpaceX. We can observe with our eyes that Ship 25 is still there. It didn't blow up. It didn't drop engines out the bottom of it. The dumpster's not on fire, etc., right? But it's always good to have that official confirmation direct from the horse's mouth, whether that's Elon or whoever runs the SpaceX Twitter account. I don't know their name.
Speaking of horses, that means that Chris B needs to slide into the DMs and say, hey, how was it?
All right. Hey, here is one from Raker again. $20 for the DOS Cryo Fund. I actually don't know how much liquid oxygen I can buy for $20. I guess I'm going to have to look into that at some point.
Where do you go to buy liquid oxygen anyway?
Liquid Oxygen Mart.
Oh, yeah, right down the street. That's next to the subway, right?
It's locks.com.
Why would I not be surprised if that puts you on some government list?
Where to buy cryogenic propellants.
Yeah, right. Google that from like your IP address at home.
Yeah. What's the black vans showing up in front of my house? Homeland Security.
Maybe we'll go with nitrogen. I mean, nitrogen has nice, cool temperatures as well, and is less. It's I guess I should say more stable, because you think liquid oxygen. Like, what's liquid oxygen going to hurt? Well, liquid oxygen, when you have a very high oxygen environment, it can make things way more flammable than they normally would be, right? That's a lesson that's been learned more than one time in spaceflight. So the right cryogenic liquid to probably use for things like that is probably going to be liquid nitrogen. If you just need a very cold liquid that doesn't want to be a liquid in the normal temperature and pressure state, it wants to be a gas if it's just hanging out, right, in the atmosphere that you breathe in. So that's probably what we're going to look at. But I bet you, I mean, there's places you can buy. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to look into that.
Plus, then you can make Dippin' Dots with the leftover.
Maybe we could just go to the Dippin' Dots place.
Or in the Ooh, there we go. The engine stand has arrived at the Starlink building. That's a Starlink building.
Huh? Yeah, that's the payload building. Starlink building.
They do a bit of I guess equipment storage around that area. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool. And then right behind that is the old crane storage, which is, I think, an office space now.
Yeah. Is that that's not the platform there next to it. What is the structure?
To the
taller
right.
Structure. Yeah.
That's the dance floor.
That's the dance floor.
That is, yeah.
Uh-huh. That is, they're just parking things there, it looks like.
Huh. But the dance floor is not actually for dancing. It's for use to help. It's check and install engines out of the pads.
Thank you. Saying what it's actually for.
Yeah, I probably should just mention that it's not what Elon uses to throw his weekly parties with a disco ball.
Wouldn't you use a header tank and just put a light on that? 'Cause, it's a ball, it's shiny. I don't know. That joke did not land. Much like a Starship SN8. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, it landed, just not in one piece.
Good grief. I'm stuck with y'all though.
Yeah. You're welcome. One of us.
Looks like
Where
we still have some condensation there on the vehicle, both water condensation and ice condensation. I saw the little camera Patrick like, oh, gotta go back to that. Seems they still have a little bit of liquid oxygen in there. Again, they are detanking the vehicle. On the methane side, there was only, as with all static fires and all engine testing overall, there was only a hint of methane in the vehicle, to use the technical term. Basically just a puddle of it in the tank. As much as they needed and no more. Again, methane is very kaboomy, you could say. So you really don't want to have more than that, as more than what you need of methane.
I think volatile is the term there, right? Methane
Yeah,
is
I could have come up with a word. So I'm just like, just make a word.
Kaboomy works. Everybody
Yeah,
knew.
yeah.
You know, we get that in the video comments all the time. Where I sometimes don't say the exact right word, or I make up a word, but people are like, "Oh, that's not actually the right word," and I was like, "Ha! But you knew what I meant. How would you know to correct me if you didn't know what I meant?" So I succeeded in communicating with you by making up a word. Come on, like, we can make up words sometimes. We're not the dictionary.
I mean, it's like, explosion versus detonation versus conflagration. They all mean different things technically, but you know what you're talking about when you say it.
They're all fun to say.
Yes, for all the times you say conflagration. Yeah.
You know.
It's the first time I used that in an article, I was like, ooh, that's a nice word.
It's a nice word.
It makes you feel proper.
It's like a vertification. Vertification is a good word too. We need like favorite words now. Do it on the
Make a
website.
Google Doc on that.
Yeah, here's the staff. It's Ian Atkinson. He's a student studying aerospace engineering, and his favorite word is conflagration.
Conflagration.
Mine is triboelectrification.
Ooh.
No, wait. I know what that is. I've heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
What is
Going
that?
back to going back to someone's favorite rocket, or the fan club for it.
Is that like the charge building up on the skin of something, or what is it? Just tell me.
It goes back to Ares 1X, which is why it delayed a couple of times. In that, basically, yeah, the vehicle going so fast through the air and through certain clouds that it creates its own electrical field.
Ooh.
Okay.
And apparently, Electron now has the same thing. But I first heard that term during the Ares 1X testing, and I love it ever since.
Hashtag Ares 1 fan club represent.
There you go.
the
Knew
stick
you'd
will
appreciate
live
that
on.
one.
All of a sudden, the fan club shows up because we mentioned the rocket once.
There are dozens of us.
There are literally dozens of us. Nice. Hey, real quick, a couple things. Jacob Benoski, thank you so much for becoming a Pad Rat member, joining the membership program, and we will rocket you. Nice. Gifting 5 Red Team members. You got Carson in Pal is a Red Team member. And we've got Keith March a little while ago becoming a Pad Rat member. And we've got Ed Thompson over an hour ago. Ed, I apologize if I missed you there. Thank you for upgrading it to Capcom on the member program. So the member program gets you different things at different levels. Some of the YouTube, the lower levels, Red Team Pad Rat, you get access to behind the scenes stuff. Videos and photos from Starbase, that sort of thing. Some of the higher levels, you get into the Discord and that sort of thing. You can chat with us in the back end and share memes and chat about non-space stuff. So across the board, however you're joining the membership program there, thank you for the support and enjoy all of the perks that you receive with your membership. Also, if you got one of those gifts, say thank you to the person who gifted it to you. It's super generous to let other people experience that. And some people actually see something and then hop in and say, oh gosh, I see so many cool photos behind the scenes from Starbase every day. I went ahead and just joined the member program after they had a gifted sub or a gifted membership come through. So anyways, one day we will have a screen that shows what you get at each membership level. I don't know if anybody would like to make one of those, Ryan, or someone who knows Photoshop or whatever. Anyways.
Wonder who that could be.
Just coughing. No, don't mind me. The desert
Is this
dust.
a bad time to say that in the back channel it has erupted into a civil war over Ares 1?
It really has. It's stick good versus yuck stick. So
Yuck stick.
I don't know, but
No
I'm
kidding.
sticking to my puns here about it and saying that it was pretty decent. Not a part of the fan club. I appreciate what it was trying to do, and also, now we have 5-segment boosters with SLS. But yeah, I can't say I'm part of the fan club, but I don't see all of the hate.
You respect.
One day
Yeah.
we're going to have to do a video on Ares 1X just to explain what the heck it is when we talk about it.
I will get you a script for that in 30 minutes.
In 30 minutes, just ad-lib it, just talk about it off the cuff. So anyways, imagine you have a single space shuttle booster, and you put a larger rocket on top of the booster so that it looks really weird, like a lollipop.
Let me get my Ares 1X model. Hang on.
Like waving
And
around.
yeah, that maybe should have done some hot staging as well on that one, especially when it comes to the very clean, totally not bonking the booster separation.
Just to get the heck away from the rest of the boosters, what it needed to do. Hey, we will rocket you 5 months at Launch Director, saying thank you, NSF team, as always, for the amazing live stream. Seriously, we wouldn't be here if y'all weren't. We will rocket you. Thank you so much for the continued support. We have fun. People probably think we're wacky, but you know something? If you show up on our stream and you enjoy it, you're here. You're home. You're in the right place. So thank you so much for the continued support. And it is. It's a nice sunset right now. I'm just reading live chat currently. Let's check in with Jack and see how the video edit is doing. I think Jack may be uploading it again. Processing problems.
Nice.
By the way, I do want to point out that there are people talking still about my pun counter. There was someone who said that their message got lost earlier. I'd rather be flying an X-Wing. Saying they put in super chat earlier that got lost. Want to make sure Sawyer gets his tokens.
Oh no. Yeah, I do apologize. At some point, the super chats were coming in so fast and furious, the interface was super laggy, and you would like click something and you'd have no clue if it was actually on the screen or not on the screen, and things weren't loading. So if we missed a couple of them there, we do apologize. We don't intend to miss those, but every now and then y'all are so generous, you break the code. So
That's honestly the first time I've ever seen the back panel just give up.
it's just like, all right, whatever. The back panel wants you to stop with the super chat. So like, please, no more.
Oh, Windows 10.
That was a Windows noise. Somebody need to upgrade?
Someone plugged in a USB device.
No, I will not upgrade to Windows 11, thank you.
Oh, absolutely not.
Huh. Is that my mom watching? I think my mom is in chat right now. Mom, is that you? Hi, Mom. Last name matches. I mean, hey, maybe there's other Pat Galloways out there. I don't know. But she says in South Texas, we're able to fry eggs on the sidewalk. I did not grow up eating sidewalk eggs, just so nobody goes after my mom for that. I don't recall
It was car hood eggs.
having to eat sidewalk eggs or anything like that. But hi, Mom.
It was car hood eggs, right?
Car hood eggs, yeah. Engine block eggs.
I always wanted to make like was it car dashboard cookies,
Oh yeah.
right? Because like I'm just curious to see how it would end up.
But as long as we time lapse it, we could live stream it.
Live stream from Ian's car,
Solar oven made out of a pizza box. Just
There you
saying.
go.
Ford Fusion cam.
Solar oven made out of your car is more like it.
Yes. Oh, you mentioned Ford. I know someone's going to jump in on that
Uh-oh.
conversation who's a car person.
Oh,
I know someone else
no.
here who owns a Ford Fusion.
Hey, it looks like. Go ahead, Ian. Go.
we were probably about to say the same thing, Dawes. Take it away.
It looks like we may have the replay video up here shortly. It will take us just a second. We're into the words where you have to make sure the words of the video look good, and then we'll be able to hit publish. We will spam the link in chat for you so you can see it from all the different angles. And then if we have, how many people are watching? Almost 4,000 people. If 4,000 people jump on that video and all thumbs up it at the same time, YouTube is going to be like, whoa, what's going on there? So stick around for just a couple minutes. We'll get you the link to the replay from all the different angles of the Ship 25 static fire here in just a second. Y'all can hop over it. You can enjoy it at your own pace. We'll shut down the commentary here, and if you thumbs up it, we can see if we can't confuse the YouTube algorithm. Like, what the heck's going on with this video? So many people pounced on it all of a sudden.
Yeah, encourage it. Be nice to it.
Encourage it. Pat it on the head like a
Yes.
good little video, and send it out to the YouTube algorithm stream and see if it gets picked up or not. Ah, is that the link? Is that a public link? I'm checking it. No views? Okay, it's public, though.
Oh, I have plenty of views. I just don't air them out publicly.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Hey,
Turn
I'm
that
the
off
first
as well.
like.
Dang, you beat me to it.
Boom.
So
That's
let's
some
get
great
that.
shots right there.
We should already be pasting that into the chat. Let me see. Yeah, I got it. Here we go. Here's the link.
Jeez,
Click
I'm like
that
number
link.
33.
Tell me if that works or not, y'all. There, Ian's got it as well. I'm
Boom.
spamming it as NASASpaceflight. Nerd spamming it as well. Alex Physics. That link looks different, but I think it's the same URL.
And I'm sure
There's
someone will
that.
be able to pin it.
Yeah, that one will get pinned because it actually has the explanation. But click that link, y'all, see if it works, and hop on over to watch the replay from all the various different angles of the very first, which is sort of the thing, Ship 25 static fire.
One step closer to the second integrated flight test.
All
Yes. I think
Look
one of
at
the
that
next things
view.
to gorgeous. Pad lights are coming on. And again, if you don't want to be if you don't want to watch all, if you want to keep watching these views, if you don't want to go when we go, remember we always have Starbase Live going 24/7 with this camera and many others. Basically, a nice curation, constantly being curated of our best cameras. We have people 24/7, I believe, actively monitoring which cameras are showing the coolest stuff. So there's always going to be something interesting going on there, whether it be 132 concrete trucks, vehicle rolling out to the pad, or just some more high bay construction. There's always something going on down at Starbase.
Work on the OLM continues.
Yes.
Sometimes you wake up and that's what you get. But I do believe that is going to bring us to the end of the coverage here, and we'll release y'all to go and watch the video. Hopefully you've already clicked the link. It's pinned up at the top of the chat there. But let's just go around the horn really quickly. Of course, earlier you heard the voice of Jack Beyer, who has now edited that video. Always a good time to have the Bacon Master himself on the stream. I think we'll be showing some, we're going to show little cards and stuff. We'll show little cards. Look at this Mars view, though. Also, helping out with the stream today, we had Ian Atkinson. Ian, as always, it's a pleasure. You have such good technical knowledge of what's going on, and you're so good at sharing it with people. Thank you so much for being on the stream and chatting away.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to be here. I love sharing, what I possibly can to get people excited and knowledgeable about this too. So always a pleasure to be here, Dawson. I can't wait for the next stream we got going on.
Absolutely. Also, we've got Mr. Sawyer Rosenstein. Sawyer, always a pleasure. I don't know if you have a pun left or not.
I don't know what my tokens are at. I like how he gets, the knowledgeable and all the technical stuff, and mine is, I don't know if you have another pun. Thanks, Dawes. No, but thank you for having me on. It's always great to see a static fire like this, and yeah, I'm hoping that we get to another test soon.
Oh, no. Also, in the back channel, we had Mr. Patrick Colhoun. Patrick clicking the buttons and choosing the cameras here today, as always. Not hearing his voice on the stream, but the stream wouldn't happen without him. Colhoun. Sorry, but I put too much L in there or something. Colhoun. Is that better, Alex? Thank you. No, wait, no. Patrick just said that I got his name right. Whatever. Anyways, thanks, Patrick, for operating the stream. We appreciate
The second time you got it right, it was
the second time. Okay. All right. Cool. Also, we have so many people in the back channel that are helping out with stuff. Alex Alejandro Alcatrillo Romero was in the back channel giving us information. Chris Bergen's over here doing tweets and stuff. You got to remember, the NSF team is lots of people. It's not just the voices you hear. It's all the moderators that are helping in chat. It's folks that are doing tweets and writing articles across the board. It is so many people that come together to make this coverage possible. EJ. EJ was here for the emotional support. Nice. We appreciate you, EJ.
And to be timed out by Nightbot.
All right, folks. So hopping over, watch that video. Thank you so much for all the support that came in. It was ridiculous amounts of support. Oh, Ryan. Ryan did the thumbnail, too. There you go. We'll give Ryan credit for doing the thumbnail, too. The amounts of support that came in today were absolutely ridiculous. NSF can make it through a lot of lean times because every now and then y'all show up like that. And we really do appreciate you being a part of the community and helping us share this with other people. But I'm going to go ahead and stop talking. Y'all go watch that video. My name is John Galloway for NSF, and we will see you nerds later. Thanks for watching, y'all.
And here we go. We have
RS-68 chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger, Atlantic.
Water towers, fly! Yes! Tango down to nominal.
Flight comes SC off. Say again, SC off. It's orange!
45! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
Look at this!
Put that in the big bag, Tingle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
This methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. Keep that. We don't need any more of these.